This video is for those who choose not to be sleeping at the wheel. This video is set up so I can explain to you how African Americans in California are affected by the China virus and previous viruses in our community. You're watching Shirley's World. Or tonight we're going to talk about the China virus, but we're going to talk about a new virus that is on the rise that deal with rats. And we're going to talk about how the rats in a certain part of the Black community, the homeless Black community, are affecting everyday lives. But in order for those everyday lives to realize it's affecting it, they have to acknowledge it. There've been for many years and many months, many of you have not want to acknowledge that we have a problem with the homeless in America, particular California, knowing that 90 to 80% of the Black people who are homeless are African American. And the reason why we're homeless is because we've been pushed aside, we've been set aside, we've been used and ostracized by immigrants, illegal immigrants, and city councilmen, district leaders, state and assemblymen, governors and mayors who tend to put our agenda on the back burner. But this is not going to be a popular subject, but I want to wake my people up. I want you to be aware of what is going to take about and what's about to happen. So I'm going to bring on a good friend, my good friend Jackie. She's going to come in here and I just want to get her input. We're going to watch videos together. But before I bring Jackie in, I want you guys to watch this video that I did a while back. And I'm not going to play the whole thing. I just want you to understand that there is a filth issue in California that has affected our community. And because it's affected our community, we are dealing with this. Now, this is downtown Los Angeles. This is pretty normal for Los Angeles. Can you imagine this be a normal lifestyle for you? Now, you guys have seen these filthy videos, but you don't realize how compacted we are with this. Now, this is downtown Los Angeles. Trucks, cars, buses, fumes, and rodents live within these people's clothes. But nobody tends to care for these people. They have bicycles, they have scooters and everything that they touch. And they use those scooters, those mobile scooters as well. And they touch. And they commune within our community. Now, Shirley, why are you talking about that? Because there's a new virus. There's a new virus, my family, that's out there. Because in 2017, 2018, 2019, I have been talking about how bad this is and how bad and how unfair it is that we as a nation of people ignore our own people, see our own people hurting, not having clothes and shoes. You can see this young lady right here. She got two different pair of shoes on, looking for something to scrap for. I don't know if she's looking for food or what, but this is the lifestyle of America. Now, fast forward. We're talking about how do we keep clean in America? Well, how can you keep clean when you won't clean up the streets? Because these same people are affecting our communities. These same people are affected by the rats in the city of Los Angeles. And the rats in the city of Los Angeles are no joke. A matter of fact, they're such not a joke that now it has affected our community. But I want to know, what are we going to do about it and how is it affecting us? So let me show you another video before I bring Jackie in, because I want to hear Jackie's take. Jackie is up in Northern California. She's living in the Bay Area. San Francisco right now is one of the most hit areas with this China virus. But I want to tell you how Black communities are being affected by this China virus. Let's hear what the city council said. Now, that video was done in 2018. I talked about 2018 and 17, 16. But look, here we are. You can see it says March 2019. And they knew that they had a rat issue. And let's hear what the city council has to say about that.
5:30, half a dozen pest control trucks deployed to Los Angeles City Hall to deal with a rat and flea infestation. First reported by the NBC4I team.
And as officials search for all those solutions, our Patrick Healy spoke to the head of one organization who says she knows the perfect way to solve the problem. Patrick.
Okay, so they knew that they had rat issues. But still they did nothing. So I just find it interesting. And they said they're going to have a solution. We're going to talk about the solutions, but I want you to see that year that they knew they had an issue. That was back in March. And before March, April, May, June, they still were dealing with the rat issue. But let me go ahead and bring Jackie in just to get an update. I'm going to bring Jackie in. I've got Jonathan Phillips. He wanted to come on board. We need to talk about this, my family. Jonathan Phillips and Jackie, I want to talk about the rats because nobody seems to understand the rats. You guys can show your face. You don't have to show your face. I love me some Jackie. This is my family up north. Jackie can tell who she is, and she's involved with the church and the community and talk about her organization. But what are we going to do about these rats? Let's have Jackie talk first, and then we'll bring Jonathan in. Go ahead, Jackie.
Well, clearly, this is a lack of the administration doing what it needs to do from a city level, from a state level, because in Southern California, can you hear me, Shirley?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead. You're doing good.
Because we're not just dealing with this. I mean, that's horrible. I can't stand rats. We're not dealing with just this in Southern California. Northern California's got an issue too. San Francisco's bad. The homeless, if you just drive through Oakland now, driving by Oakland when Eric and I was driving through, it's just absolutely horrendous how we have just allowed the homeless situation to not be dealt with, to not have affordable housing for our people. It's ridiculous.
So my question is, are these people being quarantined right now?
No, I doubt if they are. There's not really a good plan I see right now to deal with quarantining or even the coronavirus, any of the viruses that are out. A great deal of the problem is because we've allowed the homeless situation to get out of hand to begin with. This would not be occurring if we had the right policies in place to deal with mental health, to deal with the drug abuse that's out there, and to deal with, because a great deal of that is what's causing the homeless situation as it is.
It's really shocking. It's really shocking to me as well. And I agree with you. I think we've not taken the responsibility locally, state, or federal by elected officials. I hear a lot of people say, well, the mental illness goes back to Ronald Reagan. It's because of the Republicans that we don't have mental illness. Well, this state is not controlled by Republicans. It's controlled by Democrats. We want to continue to expand and open up these borders and take care of everybody else. But look at the feces on the street. Look at the trash. As soon as you move the trash, the rats want to go somewhere. And they got to go eat something, and they start eating up our homeless Black people. Jonathan, what's your take on this matter?
I think that's crazy.
Why do you think it's crazy, Jonathan? Jonathan, are you there? We can't really hear him. But I have to agree with him. It is kind of appalling and crazy that they still have such a lack of care for the people. Because these are people. Yes. We are people who have value. We bring a lot to the table. We have a lot to say, but we know the typhus, the Black Plague, the aphis are running within these animals. Look, they run in these animals, and now they have rat traps all throughout the city, and they use the Black people to clean the rats. If we want a job, they're going to hire us. See how they hire the Black people? They didn't hire the Mexicans. I want to show you something. I want you to see how they hire Black people. That's the only job they're going to give us, jobs that they don't want to take. They said we don't want to take any jobs, but look, they hired the Black people to clean the rats. They got to hire the Black people. Okay. So here we are. We're hired to clean the rats. Here you have Black people cleaning the rats. Now they won't clean the people. They won't clean the streets, but they got us going towards the rat traps, touching the rat tracks, digging the rats up, finding out the holes in the city. We got to be the one to report it. I'm just really trying to have a clarification of this because now there is a new virus on the rise. And I want to share this with you, family. I want to share this new virus that they're talking about. And this virus is a serious issue that's affecting Flagship. Turn your music down. Flagship.
Hold on. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. I'm going to go to my car first because I got to
So I'm gonna mute him out. Jonathan, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Now I can hear you. Go ahead, Jonathan. What were you gonna say earlier?
Yeah, like I was saying, the media, they do a good job of not covering it because if they would have covered if they would have the same type of hardcore coverage they got on the incumbent president sitting now, we would not have Democrats nowhere near around, because we have rats running through here. We got 150,000 homeless people in California. In my city, I can pretty much say roughly in Studio City got like 6,000, probably seem like 6,000 homeless people, man. I'm sorry. It's terrible, and black people have to go through this, and black people always get the shorter stick when it comes to these serious world events and crises. And it's sad that the media will never be honest with this situation, because really the media didn't want to cover the homeless crisis 2 years ago.
No, they didn't. And they didn't want nobody exposed that, nor did the media want to tell you that these Mexicans were able to be out there selling on the streets, not washing their hands, having sanitation and cleansing, using raw meat, cooking raw meat, and open flames on the street.
Oh yeah. Because I remember I got sick of eating one of the Mexicans' food. So yeah, they ain't washing their hands. It's definitely not sanitary. The Asians, they really are not sanitary. I remember that one video you show with the big rat just running around in the food market.
Absolutely. That food market was Lexington Market in Baltimore. So people think it's just California. It isn't. It's nationwide, where we have these culture of people who have come into our community and they don't respect the health and sanitation laws of America. And that's a big problem that we're dealing with. And it's really, really bad. Let me see if I can get Flagship on board. Let's see. Flagship. Let's see, he's still on mute. Are you there?
I'm here. You hear me?
I can hear you. Now go ahead.
Okay. I don't know. I think this is the first time I'm meeting Jacqueline. Hello, Jacqueline. Looking beautiful Black queen. And Jonathan, hello. And of course, Shirley, hello.
Salute.
It's really kind of choppy.
Yeah, he's kind of choppy. Flagship, you're choppy right now. He's like little choppy. When you get your sound together, let me know, brother. I know you're in your car and you're trying to get it together. I want to show you guys another video. Let me show you something else I just found out. Let's talk about this new virus real quick.
With your rat.
And so that can you go ahead and say something? Nope, you're still chopping. You're chopping. I'm gonna put you on mute until you are able to get your voice together. Let me just show you how I'm tying all this in, you guys, because I want you to understand that there is there's a new virus that's out there, and in this virus, they are talking about how it is growing in China. Now, it's not new to its existence, but it is something that is definitely part of this new China virus that's come back again.
There's already a new scare from China, a new killer virus. It's called the Hantavirus. You must have seen it trending on social media today. The virus is old, but the concerns are new, and so is the death. We don't want to spread panic, but we must know the facts. What is going on in China? Global Times, the mouthpiece of the Chinese Communist Party, was the first to report about this virus, the Hantavirus, as they're calling it. It said that one person from the Yunnan province of China died on a chartered bus today. This person was later tested positive for the Hantavirus. There are at least 32 people. There were 32 people on that bus, and they're all being tested for any possible infection. As I said, the virus is not new. One report says the coronavirus may have weakened the immune system of people. So those who survived the Wuhan virus are now more vulnerable to other strains. And that is why we are seeing cases like these. So what exactly is this virus and what causes it? The Center for Control of Disease and Prevention, the CDC, calls it the Hantavirus. That is the full name. The virus is spread mainly by rodents like rats, squirrels, and hamsters. How exactly do they spread the virus? Through droppings and saliva. If a person comes in contact with the excreta or saliva of rodents, then he or she can be infected. In some cases, even a bite by an infected animal can cause it. What are the symptoms? Fatigue, fever, muscle ache, dizziness, and coughing. These are some of the usual ones. They may vary. Is this virus fatal? Yes, it is. In fact, it is much more dangerous than the coronavirus. The Hantavirus has a mortality rate of 38%. 38. It's a very scary figure. What's even more worrying is the fact that this figure is entirely based on previously confirmed cases. And there weren't many cases in the past. So the short answer is yes, it's fatal. Now, the most important question right now is this: can the Hantavirus spread to humans? Even the World Health Organization does not have a proper answer to that. It says human-to-human transmission of the Hantavirus is under investigation, meaning they don't know for sure. It's best to be honest. They must also give the world assurance that if the Hantavirus explodes, they will not rely on what China is telling them. They will independently investigate. Because we need to remember what the WHO said about the Wuhan virus. The WHO said that there was no evidence of human-to-human transmission. And yet look where we are, 17,000 deaths and counting. And while the WHO investigates, they must also look at the name, Hantavirus. Do you know why it's called the Hantavirus?
Why?
Because it originated near the Hantan River in South Korea.
Hantan River near South Korea. We're finding a lot of these viruses are coming from the Asian regions of the world, my family. And they're coming through animals, rats and bats and cats and dogs. And now there's rodents. I mean, Jackie, you're shaking your head. Talk to me. What's your thought on the matter? Jackie, what do you think about this, Jacqueline?
Oh, well, I've got to do some research. This is the first I've heard of this virus.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing. There is nothing shared at all on the media about this. Nothing. This is the first I've heard. I've got to look into this. This is hideous. But anytime sanitation is bad, you're going to end up opening yourself up to all kinds of. And we've got to get the sanitation in check.
No, I agree with you on that. If we don't get the sanitation in check, we're definitely going to have a problem. I think the matter is that we have a lot of cultural people that cultivate into America, which, America calls itself a melting pot, but what are we melting into our pot? Sometimes we don't want those things into our pot because those pots don't assimilate. Sometimes
exactly.
we don't, like oil and vinegar, you put them together, you shake them, they look great, but then when you let them sit long enough, they separate. They were never meant to merge together. And I think that's the problem that we're having with what we're learning in the upcoming years, that if you're going to come into America, no matter what culture or country you're from, if you're not going to assimilate to our culture, if you're not going to respect health and sanitation laws, like Jackie said, and like Jonathan said, Jonathan lives in California. All four of us are in California right now. So California is really being affected by it, and the homeless people. Flagship, I think we can hear you really loud and clear now.
I do apologize about. Hello.
Okay.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you for coming on board. Any last thing you want to say about San Francisco, because you're up north? What would you like to say to the family about up north? Okay, I appreciate that. Go ahead, Flagship, talk to me. What do you think?
Sorry about earlier, but let's just keep in mind that this is all engineered. I mean, of course, we have to keep the sanitation check, but the thing is, these politicians, we keep giving them the benefit of the doubt. They do not want good order and discipline. They do not want these people to assimilate. Keep in mind, these Democrats hate Black people with all the smiles and these coalition talks. They want us constantly in a state of confusion, constantly in a state of lack of homeostasis, and they keep opening the borders for immigrants to come in here with different cultures, different backgrounds, different creeds. They did this in the 60s very well. They did, and they're still doing this now. And they just sat there in the midst of the conversation about reparations and passed money for refugees and undocumented immigrants. Meanwhile, these immigrants are going into public housing, and guess where Black folks is going? On the street corner with the rats. And they want us to get this Hantavirus. Keep in mind, we've seen this before, people. The bubonic plague. How was it passed? Through rats. And how is this happening again? Through rats. But this time, they're going to put Black folks in direct contact with these damn rats on the damn street corner. That is the reason why a year later, and I think we talked about this before, Shirley, the trash is still not picked up in downtown Skid Row, LA. No. They want this to happen. Don't let Garcetti's little smile fool you. He is a demon in a suit, and he needs to be taken down and taken out. The bottom line is they want this to happen. They want this confusion. They want these diseases to happen because they want to call it a black disease. So then they can get a reason to start killing us again. These Democrats are Satan in suits, and we have to do something about this because this Hantavirus is going to be for real. This will be the death of us.
I totally agree with you. I think
So everyone get your cats and get your damn rat-eating dogs, because let me tell you something. I ain't going out like that. I'm getting me a cat, and that's what happened. They got rid of the cats, and that's how the bubonic plague was priced. So get yourself a cat and get yourself one of those little rat-eating dogs. I ain't going out like this.
Jonathan, I mean, Flagship is on fire about this. What's your take on it? I know you're also in LA. We're all of us are quarantined. We're all locked down in Los Angeles. I truly believe that certain states won't be as quarantined because they're not as highly affected. But if you are in California, I really believe that California is going to be the most affected by this, especially blacks, because Chinatown is right next door to Skid Row. That's what many of you guys don't understand, that Los Angeles Chinatown is right next to that first video I showed you with all those homeless people. Jonathan, what's your take?
Well, the Hantavirus, that's something new. That's definitely something new. I don't even know if I want to even do any research with it, man. When it comes to this, I'm just quarantined in my house. But when it comes to the leadership in LA, Eric Garcetti don't know what he's doing. This is just as bad as Bill de Blasio in New York.
Preach.
This is terrible, man. Like it's to the point where really you have to govern yourself. You have to govern yourself, and you have to make sure that you have the right herbs. This is when getting back to the roots of Sebi and Dr. A couple series of doctors that you can do the research, but this is when we have to focus on black seed oil and ashwagandha root. This is definitely where we need to get our vitamin A, C, and zinc.
Preach.
Really, we need a waste management bill. We need a waste management bill where we give the largest tax breaks to whoever can clean this shit up. This is disgrace.
I agree.
And the media, they never cover this shit. They never
and trash
cover it.
Also includes the immigrants. They trash too. Get their ass up out of here too. Sweep them up. Let's go.
They gotta go too, because they take up a lot of the resource, and they get so much love. Matter of fact, the Democrats will block for them to stop us.
Well, interesting part, gentlemen, is that Wuhan virus is not new. There was a doctor, it was featured on Doctors in 2013, which is very interesting. See, they know about these viruses and these diseases, and they know where they come from. Let me show you how. Listen.
Well, we're going to start with the Hantavirus. It's not only killed a few people, it has scared thousands more. So the Hantavirus, we first started hearing about it in Yosemite Park, and it can actually cause a significant and fatal infection, particularly that of the lungs. It's found in the urine, saliva, and droppings at times of infected rodents. Now, the symptoms of the Hantavirus, they can take weeks to present after being exposed to the virus. Maybe non-specific, fever, some chills, some muscle aches and headaches. Similar to what we talk about with the flu, you may have fatigue, nausea, vomiting, shortness of breath. But what can happen if you're infected is over time, your breathing becomes more and more labored. You can build up fluid on your lungs, and that's the sort of that progression if it can become fatal.
One of the scary things is those symptoms start off like the millions of cases of flu that you have. So how do you know when it's something more than that? When do you?
But and I think you raise a good point, and maybe it's an unfortunate reality of our days. We don't have treatment for it,
right?
So I think the telltale
y'all ain't listening. The man said,
Shirley, what's the date on this? What's the date on that show?
This is 2013.
Oh, 2013?
This was when this was downloaded, and they said they knew it was in parks. If you go, I don't know where I can go back to, but he said it was in the park. He says, well, when did we first diagnose this? Yeah, we saw it in the park. Hold on, let's see it right here.
And that's the sort of that progression if it can become fatal.
One of the scary things is those symptoms start off like the millions of cases
right
of flu that you have.
here.
Hearing about it in Yosemite Park, and it can actually cause.
Okay, Yosemite Park has homeless people, so they know that the rats.
Homeless black people. Homeless black people.
Yosemite Park has homeless black people. And this is Yosemite. What state is that in?
Yosemite just wants. Oh God. I know. I'll check it out. Hold on 1 second.
Yosemite Park.
Hey, here's what I found.
I think that's California again, right? Hold on. Yosemite.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I don't know Parks in Cali. So that is our own park. That's California.
Yeah.
They people going camping. They say, hey, there's a virus. Now, how did we get this virus up here? Again, California is a tourist attraction, and Chinese people eat rats. They fry rats. You know, they were probably out there in the woods cooking these rats and eating these rats. You know, they like rats. I showed you rats on a stick. Y'all didn't like seeing them rats on a stick video, but I showed you the rats on the sticks. Let's keep going.
That was nasty, actually.
Cause a significant and fatal infection, particularly that in the lungs. It's found in the urine, so fatal.
One of the scary things is those symptoms start off like the millions of cases of flu that you have. So how do you know when it's something more than that? When do you?
But Dr. and I think you raise a good point, and maybe it's an unfortunate reality of our world today is we don't have a specific treatment for it.
Right.
So I think the telltale thing here is if you are having significant symptoms and you're having trouble breathing,
whether it's the flu or the hantavirus,
you got to get it checked out, because people who get the hantavirus may need to end up on a ventilator. You know, you're having supportive care with IV fluids. And what we're trying to do in the hospital is get your body to a place where it can fight off this infection, because there's not some beautiful antiviral we can give people. And, if you get it one day, you're better. This is something where recovery can take week plus.
Did you hear that? Week plus.
Yep.
And he says, there's no cure for it. There's no cure for it. I want you guys to understand that there's no cure for these viruses. I think people have to hear that over and over. Hello, there's no cure for the virus. They're not like an antibiotics. It's not like when people, it's a disease. No, a virus is different than a disease.
Infection.
A virus is different than a disease. Okay. When you get this virus, people always think, I'm going to go to the doctor and get some antibiotics. Well, no, you usually have to rest the body, get lots of fluids, and go from there. Jonathan, Dimitri, anyone you guys want to say something?
That's pretty disheartening. You know, it makes me wonder that you know, are we truly are in the last days? Because no type of treatment. It's basically you catch the shit and poof. That's really disheartening. But too much politics being played on this, man. Democrats already showed that they blocking bills 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. You know, you got AOC. She wants resources on, illegal immigrants instead of waste management, because really we need waste management. A lot of this stuff comes to waste management and putting these people in shelters.
I think we need 3 parts. I think we need waste management. I know we already have waste management as far as our regular trash, but we need a specific type of waste management regarding feces, regarding rodents. We need regarding aphids, regarding
all cookies,
plague.
We gotta have that spray. We gotta have that spray spraying them areas. We need masks.
The spiders. No one's talking about the spiders that are out there. The water bugs and the water units that we're drinking from. These are all issues. And so, you're talking about health and sanitation. Then we talk about mental health, because if you can imagine being a person, African American descent, who's homeless, who's probably watching our show right now. Shout out to you people. God bless you. We're praying for you. Our hearts are with you, because you are dismantled. You're disabled, and you're watching the news saying that they're going to come pick you up and help you. And yet, Jeff Wilson and Eric Garcetti haven't done anything yet. They haven't done anything.
They won't do anything.
They are picking up homeless people, but they're going to get the white ones first. Let's just be real.
Oh, absolutely. And they're also taking them outside the city. They're doing what Santa Monica used to do. Because the thing is, I went to college at USC, and I did a double major in urban planning and real estate development. One of my classes that I took was history of planning. History of planning and public spaces. So one of the biggest parts of public space is the debate is homelessness. Let me tell you what the city of Santa Monica ratchet ass motherfuckers was doing. They were picking up homeless people, giving them these phenomenal like one nights in a hotel, getting them all cleaned up, and sending them to Hawaii. Hawaii sued the city of Santa Monica, and I think they got like $8 or $9 million or something like that. But keep in mind, it's the city of Santa Monica, one of the richest cities in the world. So they just started threw some money at it. But the point was, but the issue was solved. They wanted to get homeless people off of their beaches and out of their city. And that's what the same thing Gavin Newsom's doing. All he's doing is trying to transfer these people out to rural Lancaster and Lancaster and out there. Now, why Lancaster? Keep in mind, when they started gentrifying LA, where did black people move to? Lancaster. When they want to get that. Exactly. Not even Palmdale's white. No. They got black folks out of Palmdale. Don't get it twisted. They raised Palmdale up because the white folks moved to Palmdale and said, "No, we don't want them Negroes up over here." So all the developers raised up Palmdale, and so black folks were like, "Okay, cool. We'll go over here to Lancaster," because the Lancaster was still nice. It was still brand new. But now, guess what's happening? They send them homeless people out there to Lancaster now. They're gonna keep these Democrats are gonna keep failure with us and say, look at them Negroes. They got homeless people out there. I'm done with these Democrats. I'm done.
RX Paris and Lancaster pretty much realized that this Democratic supermajority is pretty much an unwinnable war.
Yeah, I know RX Perry, and I feel he's a good man. I know there's no perfect people, but RX Perry is a Republican. He's done.
Yeah, I have no problem with RX. I've actually seen RX, and he took my hand, so you know.
What I have a problem with is the illegal immigrants and the Mexicans that have taken over in a unified school district, within the schools and then the operations where systems were in place for us to help us move forward in life. Now we are suppressed by issues that are going in the urban communities right now. Jonathan,
everything has to be for everybody. But then their stuff is focused on them. Like we see right now with the Asian community getting $8 billion. They can get stuff focused on them for their issues. I mean, I'm sorry, not even issues, keyword alleged issues, because they ain't got no issues. But then when we talk about the stuff, it's divisive, bump these Democrats, man. Oh my goodness, I can't even tolerate this. I'm sorry, Shirley. I'm fired up on this subject today. I got so many receipts. I'm ready. I'm gonna be quiet right now. Let me get my receipts together.
That's all right. Go ahead, Jonathan. Talk to me.
Yeah, because really, like I mentioned this to you plenty of times, Miss Shirley, about how really California GOP.
That's another conversation.
Yeah, because really, you got these Schwarzenegger rhinos, the Schwarzenegger class.
They're compromised because they all want to check.
Yes, and they don't want to go to jail. They don't want to go to jail like Hunter Duncan.
Well. Hunter's out, and ICE is going to be back in. See what he can do. Let's go ahead and let me show you some of the more. I need to show you what the city is doing. Let's talk about from a state level.
Okay.
Going back to some of the videos we were seeing earlier, I want to talk about this one again.
Rats race across Ceres Avenue near downtown, competing for food. What's most remarkable is that we saw this army of rats the week after the city cleared away mountains of trash. We're putting resources, with the mayor declaring this once filthy street all cleaned up.
This is a juvenile.
But these two rodent experts say LA's rat problem is out of control.
I've never seen this many droppings, ever.
That's Neve Quinn of the University of California and Sylvia Kenmuir, who advises the city of New York.
Okay, so they advise the city of New York because New York is used to rats. And she says, I've never seen this many rats before. She's from California, other ladies from New York. Interesting enough, the droppings of rats are very potent and infectious. And I think that's something that we all may not know. But when you have rats in your home, be careful when cleaning the droppings, because that's also where the virus can reside in. If you saw in the earlier video that we just showed, they talked about the droppings. It's something about the droppings of these rats that can contaminate you and get you infected. Let's keep watching.
how to control its rats.
I had no idea it was this bad.
Bad not just in downtown, but across the city. Our cameras spotted rats running around near people and munching on trash. And sanitation workers gave us these pictures of rats and rat feces that they found inside homeless encampments. Encampments where people defecate on the streets.
Rodents will eat human feces. They will eat scraps.
Could LA be?
Okay, so now we oh my God, I didn't mean to skip back. We don't want to hear that part, but it's true. We have our people who are homeless, right? Our people are homeless, and yet nobody wants to talk about how we are overran by rats. These people in here are Black people, but even the Black leadership in California knows this and does nothing.
Because they can't, Shirley, because they're owned by the white liberals. Campaigns are paid for by money. Black people in office. It's these white supremacist liberals who are the real racists are putting them in office, and they say, look, we'll have you be here. You'll be a symbolic Negro whisperer. But if you talk about anything Black, we'll get rid of your ass. And that's exactly what happens. Think about the situation that happened with James Clyburn. Oh, thank you. Remember the situation with James Clyburn when he started talking about Nancy Pelosi and her lack of diversity and Black folks that are on these staffs or whatever. And then she had a conversation with him, and then he backtracked. They are controlled by the liberals. That's why I don't vote for no Black folk. And now, for example, if there was a Black folks that came up there, straight thugging up, being for real, okay, I got you. But if you up there, if you pay for my Democrats, I know you ain't Black for real. Hashtag Andrew Gillum, who was a side piece for the damn LGBTQ, and that's why we knew that. And now look what happened. We cannot vote for Black folks. Do not let the whole, oh well, at least he's Black. Nah, bump all that. Get his ass up out of there. Get his ass up out of there. If they Black, that means they're the first traitor. I'm done.
Speak the truth to power,
Jonathan, because Jonathan, you got me holy dancing with these damn receipts about the dang waste management. I'm up here holy dancing in my car because the bottom line is that we do definitely need that, but more so than we need to ignore this political party altogether. And people keep saying, "Oh, vote this whole vote down ballot, and let's vote with the underwater basket." We just bump all of that. We need to just not vote because their power comes in us voting and letting them demonize these damn Republicans. No, I want the Ku Klux Klan. Please give me the Klan. I want a Jared Taylor, Richard Spencer ticket because I know how to deal with them cats. That's an easy fix. We just straight thug up, bum rush the castle and get it done. But these Democrats, they're deceitful and manipulative, and they got our people, Black people, leaders like Angela Lai, or I should say Angela Bye, because that's where she needs to go. Bye and go somewhere with her ratchet ass. And the same thing with damn freaking Roland Martin. They need to go as well because all they're doing is trying to negotiate us to talk about and help everybody else but ourselves. I'm done. What sense does it make for me to go to work and then give my whole entire family wage to the damn neighbor while my kids are on the street with damn rats? Miss me with the bullshit. Get the fuck about the goddamn paint.
Because really, if we do vote Republican, they're gonna find a way. I don't know. They always have something up their sleeve. When you thought it was through, we ain't finished. I don't know, man. Like I told Shirley all the time, the Democratic Party should have been abolished right when slavery was done.
That's true. I think, but I do think the Democrat Party is on the verge of extinction right now because people are waking up. If you want to know, let's say this to the Black people. If you want to know what socialism really is, and then you should be in California and the rest of the world, because if you're quarantined and then they're going to start telling you what you can eat and they're going to start telling you what you can drink and how much food you buy. See, that's socialism. But America has always had this balance between socialism and capitalism. But see, we have to utilize the capital that we've consumed at this time and use those resources to balance out the social issues in America. And that's why you're now understanding, I get capitalism. And now I understand socialism. But the governors of the states are the ones that govern your rights more than the president of the United States. This is what I'm saying. Because the local state people are the ones that have to ask for help by the federal government. Federal government cannot circumvent the state unless the state is out of line. We first have to go in a certain order: local, state, and federal. Local city council, local water board, school boards, things that need to be taken care of. When those things are not addressed, then we move into the level of the Gavin Newsoms. But we have to start off at the city council and the Eric Garcettis, and we want to know about what's going on. I want to continue on. Let's keep watching, gentlemen.
Okay, no problem.
Encampments where people defecate on the street.
They will eat scraps.
Could people defecate on the streets?
Rodents will eat human feces. They will eat scraps.
Could LA be doing a better job of controlling the rats?
Absolutely.
In fact, LA still has no formal program to control rats 8 months after an epidemic of the infectious disease typhus, spread by fleas that often live on rats.
Yep.
Cities like Washington have workers out every day plugging burrows where rodents nest and multiply. New York City's mayor has formed a rodent academy to train city workers and has a rat task force that meets weekly. Why not have a mayor's task force on rodent control?
We are putting together a team right now. It does have a name.
We are putting together a team right now. We don't have a name. See, this is not priority for him. It's easy to say, we're going to put a team together and we'll deal with it later. See, now we're dealing with the aftermath of irresponsible leaders within our community that many of us have branded our brains and scratched our heads and said to you, don't vote for these people. But then we scream at the Republican Party because we say, you're not giving us strong enough candidates that are bold enough to be the sounding board against these evil Democrats who care nothing about the health and sanitation value. Grant you all have to understand other cultures are saturated here. They've come into our communities. Chinatown is nothing but 3 or 4 blocks away from the Black homeless community. China eats rats. So, of course, Chinese people enjoy having more rats. That's free meat for them. They literally come from China to here. You think their habits stop in China? You think their health and sanitation guidelines are enforced and they come to America and say, oh, I'm going to now wash my hand and be more clean? No, don't get it twisted. Let's keep watching.
Last October, for a few days, the city sealed rat burrows just in the Skid Row area. But the sanitation department tells us there's no additional rat control effort like that scheduled for this year.
Look, there's no additional rats scheduled for 2019. Let me back it up so you guys can see that. See that? There's no additional work scheduled for this year. That was last year. So they knew they had a problem in 2018. They had the typhus and the Black Plague, which I talked about. I did my videos. Y'all do your homework and watch my Facebook channel and watch my videos. Are you reading this? Can you guys see this? Well, I'm putting on the screen Skid Row. They knew about it. They didn't do nothing. Now they're saying in 2019, oh, we don't have nothing, no work scheduled at this time. Well, you got all kind of schedules now, y'all, because we quarantined. Stupid motherfuckers. Anyways, let me stop cursing. Flashing don't have me cursing shit. Don't have me. Shaquita come out, you're gonna get a whole nother person.
This year. And while the mayor says you 311 to report trash piles,
Submit a service request by calling 311.
there's no category for reporting rat sightings. Even though downtown workers tell us they're seeing more rodents than ever and getting bitten by fleas that live on them.
Rats are everywhere, and it's just not acceptable to expose people to this amount of disease.
And what about all those rats we found on Ceres Avenue, which sits right next to LA's produce district?
They're crawling on the boxes. They're crawling on the produce. This is a serious health problem.
What are you doing today to control the rats and deal with the rat burrows here?
Sure. Let me get back to you. I don't know if there's action taken today.
Well, what kind of idiot is this man? Somebody, you guys got to talk to me. What is this? What is it? What's this man's problem? What does he not see that we see? Is there something we're not seeing that he sees?
Nah, Miss Shirley, you got to go to his website.
Is that the answer to everything? Go to my website.
Go to my website.
.com. Go to, if y'all don't know who this man is, this is the mayor of Los Angeles, Eric Garcetti. This is the mayor being addressed. The mayor, remember we talked about local, state, and federal. See, you need to go to your local leaders and ask them. That's what this reporter's doing. Okay, now we've been watching you, Eric Garcetti. We've asked you numerous times, Eric Garcetti, what are you going to do? What plan do you have in place? Here's the other states that have something. What's California going to do? Nothing. We're going to let the Black people and the Black communities continue to get ate by rats. But guess what? There's a new virus in town. Let's keep going.
After we questioned the mayor, his spokesman said a contractor filled 15 rat burrows with flea powder and rat poison and stuffed them with paper and wire mesh.
This is definitely an active burrow.
But just 2 hours later, the I-team was there with those two experts, and they found plenty of active rat burrows that weren't filled. They also saw rats still running wild.
Here he comes. See him?
A health threat to NBCLA.
These things are running around in our cities, restaurants, in our children's schools.
Experts tell us that clearing trash, first doing careful rodent abatement, may actually be making the problem worse.
Making the problem worse. Talk to me, gentlemen. What's your thoughts?
That's disgraceful. That's disgraceful. And you see, he's gonna try to run in 2024. You see, and the media gonna cover up all this dirt. Now, typhus, the Black Plague. You got these old school diseases coming back because of this nasty ass city. That's terrible. California used to not be like this.
No, we never used to not be like
Never.
this. But we have the irresponsibility of leaders right now, and this has not helped our state at all. Not at all. And nobody.
Nope.
It's not a popular subject matter, so I'm not expecting people to go, oh my God, do me another video that makes me feel good. I know I'm not doing feel good videos right now, but I have to wake you guys up since you're home all day anyway to realize when this world does decide to turn back on, these leaders are still going to be running our state.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but surely you can't do the feel good stories until you tell the truth on how things were and how we came from this to get to the feel good story. And so right now you got to tell them what's going on right now so we can start responding and with the proper intensity to get these problems fixed in order for the feel good stories to come about.
I'm reading out Real Money's comment, and that's true. They really do stack up 3 and 4 people in one apartment to keep them things high.
Let me tell you, Real Money is right on the money. I'm a real estate agent and a real estate developer, and I can tell you that I've talked to many property management with these people from different countries. Different countrymen have different responsibilities to life, and let me tell you what they do. They stack and rack. I've seen where they have bunk beds in the kitchen, you guys. Bunk beds in the kitchen. 3 families living in one house, a 2-bedroom house.
Yeah. Yep.
So I know they're about to kill each other because now they got to stack and rack doing quarantine. There used to always be running 1 or 2 or 3 families in the street, hustling jobs over us. Well, they ain't hustling no jobs over us. And if you're not illegal, I'm sure Trump didn't have that stimulus package set up for illegals. If you ain't illegal, you ain't gonna get no stimulus check. You can't be out there hustling those nasty docked up meat on the street like you used to, and get out there and sell those used goods. Something's got to be done. You ain't gonna be able to do all that. You can't do that. But it's truly affecting our lives. It's truly affecting the Black community, and it's something that we have to deal with. But let me tell you, see, you guys don't live in this state where I call it the liberal progressives. These liberal progressive women who have an answer, the Mother Earth answer to fixing problems. That's another problem that we're having in California. These cuckoo liberal socialites that believe in this health and sanitation. Let's do it the natural way of solving a really eradicated issue that needs to be done, that needs to be dealt with, that they don't want to deal with. I'm going to show you this video, and I want to get your takes on this one. I want to get your takes.
Shirley.
Yes.
But also, there's one thing that I want to talk about is that when they talked about, the 2 experts talked about there's fleas running around. Those fleas, they get onto you and they start biting you. When those fleas bite you, what happens is that's how you get the disease. That's how you get the infection, is when those fleas bite you. So even if you get rid of the rats, you still have to have a sanitation situation to where you're cleaning up all the fleas and getting those eradicated as well. So it's not just get rid of the rats, it's get rid of the rats, get rid of the fleas, the whole shebang, tank, and that comes through what he was talking about: waste management, sanitation, constantly spraying down to get rid of these fleas, and keeping areas and surfaces and streets clean. But they don't do that when they have all these this influx of homelessness, which is caused by open borders immigration. I'm gonna put it on out there. And if people got a problem with it, bring the fire and brimstone. Get on the damn chat and let's go. I'm ready. I got time today.
Yeah, man, because I'm mad at these liberals, dog, because it's always something. Like, they literally create the problem so they can blame the other side for it. That's
they expand the problem and then kind of create up some solution for the expansion of an issue that's easy to kill, but they don't want to. Watch this video. I want to show you guys something. The answers are cats, according to this liberal white woman with blonde hair. Let's listen to her.
Oh, goddamn.
Angeles City Hall to deal
Lord Jesus, help me.
First reported by the NBC4I team.
And as officials search for all those solutions, our Patrick Healy spoke to the head of one organization who says she knows the perfect way to solve the problem. Patrick.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
I got that, Colleen. Well, the out-of-the-box solution that's proposed here is using rodents' natural predators, which are cats. And now this has been done at a number of city locations before. Pest control professionals, many of them have concerns. They believe their traditional techniques of trapping and chemicals work better. And even public health is concerned that unsocialized cats can themselves become infected and pose a risk. But clearly, something needs to be done. You've seen the video of City Hall staffers chasing a small rodent, and rodents continue to be caught in traps put out in offices. The group.
See, we got to put rat traps in our offices in California downtown. I got slow.
I hope that rat bites her.
You're wrong. So I just got to ask the question, family, before we keep on in this video. I don't know how crazy this is to you, but this is really crazy for me. That we have rat traps in our city council meeting because they won't do the right thing and just shut everything down and exterminate. Why don't we just clean the filth up? Usually, if you clean your filth, the bugs, the rats, and the rodents and the things go away. Why won't they shut it down? I don't get it.
Because the root of the problem, even beyond that, is that they want more black homelessness. As long as the people are living on the street, using the bathroom.
One at a time, people. One said Donald Trump, the other one said we just want niggas homeless. One thing, let's talk about the Negro. Okay, Jonathan,
we're gonna blame.
I'm sorry,
we're just
go ahead,
gonna blame
I'll
one
talk
man.
afterwards.
Oh yeah, blame the Cheeto Man. It's the Cheeto Man because of the rats.
Cheeto Man, damn it.
The Cheeto Man. Let's just blame the Cheeto Man. Okay, let's go. Keep going, y'all. Hold on.
Well, no, okay.
With us this video documenting success stories using the feline approach at 3 LAPD stations that had rodent issues. The group, working with the LA Animal Control, brought in rescued cats. They needed to be acclimatized to their new environment.
I hope they bite all the damn police. Bite all the motherfuckers.
Problem solved. Founder Melia Kaplan today told us she sees no reason why this would not work on a larger scale in LA City Hall.
It's just cats. And it's so easy, and it's sensible, and it's a green program, and it saves lives out of the shelter. I mean, my goodness, what's the reason not to do it?
Ironic,
because it's not just about cats, idiot. And you're stupid and you're feeble-minded. So you shouldn't be speaking. But the only reason why you're speaking is because you're a feminist, and that's the reason we're going to hear your dumb ass. She's not smart. She's not smart. The real problem is we have an increase of homelessness where there's no bathrooms and there's no facilities. So even if you bring cats out there, all you're going to do is have increased rodents in the sewage systems because cats don't go, these alley cats do not go down in the sewage system. So you're going to have an influx of cats, and guess what rats, and guess where those rats going to go? They're going to start going up in the tunnels into those high expensive penthouses where there's not that many cats. The problem is there's too many homeless people. That's the root of the problem.
I'm gonna have to agree with Glitter. Glitter said that the cats look scared. Yes, the cats look scared. they gotta come with a 6-foot rat. Ready. The rat is ready.
Rat and ready. But listen,
the rat is strapped.
Let's keep listening. Hold on.
In LA City Hall.
It's just cats. And it's so easy. And
it's so easy, Jonathan. Jonathan. Isn't it easy? Because I know Flagship is pissed. It's so easy. It's just rats. We can fix them with cats. Okay, I'll keep going. I'll shut up.
And she's probably a teacher teaching black kids about transgenderism. Well, I won't go into that.
Yeah. She's probably part of that crew. She's part of that crew. Okay, we gotta keep watching. I keep stopping and laughing. I'll be quiet.
And it's so easy, and it's sensible, and it's a green program, and it saves lives out of the shelter. I mean, my goodness, what's the reason not to do it?
Ironically, Cats USA is the name of the pest control company the city has hired to use methods other than real felines. In session today, during a briefing, City Council President Herb Wesson raised the notion of deploying cats.
Herb Weston, Jesus, take the wheel. Jesus, this old black nigga here. This nigga here.
And you cannot trust them. An old black man, never trust them in politics. They are the first traitor. I will believe Jared Taylor before you believe and trust an old black Negro. That's all I'm gonna say.
That Negro right there.
This nigga right here. Jesus, take the wheel. Ain't nobody ran against. I've got a couple of people trying to run against him. But see, the machine got so much money, even the millennials can't even get the win over him. And they won't step down. He won't go away. It's like, dude, you done put your time in. Go look at your district. His district is effed up. If y'all want to know about Herb Weston, just go ahead and Google his name. He is a sellout to the black community. I don't know what this man is. I know
and that's the reason why, Shirley, that's the reason why he's in that position, because those Anglo liberals love black, especially a black male. Oh my God, a sellout black male like John Lewis, they will keep that man rich and paid just until they're done with him. But I guarantee you this much: when they get ready, they're ready to get rid of him, they will send a white woman to his damn house and get that damn rape charge against his ass, and all that money's gone. That's why I'm because there's no retirement plan for a coon. So he's gonna go down in the worst way possible, and I'm gonna sit back. We're gonna watch his ass burn. Go ahead to the fire. Take me to the king. Go ahead and go down, bitch. I ain't fucking with him.
Oh boy, look like Fred Price. Oh boy, look like Reverend Frederick Price to me. Oh boy, in the screen right here. You remind me of old Reverend Price.
Hey, no, that's my pastor watching now, boy. I love my Pastor Price. This is not Pastor Price, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do a disclosure for my Price family. Don't have them call me on the phone coming after my ass. Already getting on me about cursing. But no, this is not Pastor Price. What he does.
Well, I know. Well, if he gonna get on you about cursing, tell him we need to get on him on this homeless problem, because I know he got power. What are you doing about it, Pastor? Where is the factories, Pastor? Where do you put what bank do you put all that tithe money? Do you put it in the Wells Fargo, or do you put it in the Black Bank?
You got it.
Can we stick with the rats and the bats? Okay, here, hold on.
Don't get me on them pastors now. That's a whole nother show.
Health raised doubts.
The fleas from the rats would immediately jump onto the cats.
Wait a minute. Is there only one common sense person in this room? Is this lady named Dawn? Dawn said to them, and I'm going to repeat it, and I'm going to play it back just a little bit. She's saying to them, look, if you decide to use this rodent cat company, you got a problem, because the rats carry fleas and fleas jump on cats. And how do you fix that? How do you do it?
Bam.
How do you say you're going to stop the spread of this typhus? Because typhus was the issue back then. Now we're dealing with the viruses from the rats. Back then it was the fleas and the aphids and everything else on the rats. Rats carry a lot of nasty things. They may look cute to others, but to most of us, with common sense, know the rats are not your friend. Let this play.
Wesson raised the notion of cats in City Hall, but a doctor from County Health raised doubts.
She's a doctor.
The fleas from the rats would immediately jump onto the cats. So the problem still occurs.
The cats will not have fleas. Every rescuer in LA knows that if you have an unsocialized cat, you have a little pill called Program, and you give it to them before you put them in a working cats program, and it stops the fleas. So there will be no fleas.
Oh,
we dealing with a nut job. Her and Marianne Williamson must be related.
Her hair gets on my nerves.
I don't know. Marianne Williamson, she get a Marianne Williamson vibe. You know, the very airhead, don't know what's going on. So high, don't know which room she in. She seemed like them type of white folk.
Yeah, the kind of girl that you sleep with, and then she say you raped her afterwards. Yeah, I got that point. Yeah, exactly. I agree. Oh, you don't want to date me? Oh, you raped me! Rape! Ah! Get her out. Get the hell up out of here.
Yeah. I swear, Flag need his own show.
All right, I'm gonna back it up a little bit again. Y'all got me laughing. I can't breathe.
The cats will not have fleas. Every whisker in LA knows that if you have an unsocialized cat, you have a little pill called Program, and you give it to them before you put them in a
Wait, the
working.
pill is called Program? Is that what she said? The pill's called Program?
So let me get this straight for those who might have just started tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. We're talking about rats in Los Angeles. We're talking about the Black community and how we've been infected with so many rats, but I'm building up to you to understand this is years that have occurred. We're going back to 2016, 17, 18, 19, where Eric Garcetti said he is not going to pretty much put any program in place. He's been lying in social media, saying he's going to do something. He had the city council got together with this crazy woman saying that she says cats are the answers. And the way you do it is give the cats pills. You drug your cat, and then they don't get fleas. Now, how do we know the cat is regulated with drugs? And when's the last time you gave that cat a drug? So, and then you have
Shirley, what she's saying is before the cats will come from the shelter, and so she's saying at the shelter you give them the pill, I guess it's a one-time pill, and then from there, then you release them out into the streets. That's what she's saying.
Oh, she did not say one-time pill, and she didn't say shelter. Let's play and see what she said.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I think that's just what she's implying. I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
We can't go by implied. We have to go by facts. Let's hear what she says. Let's listen. Let's all be quiet.
The cats will not have fleas. Every whisker in LA knows that if you have an unsocialized cat, you have a little pill called Program, and you give it to them before you put them in a working cat's program, and it stops the fleas. So there will be no fleas.
So now she never said how long the pill lasts. Who if you know if the pet got the pill, how do you regulate the pills? Who's gonna make money off the pills? Everybody's getting money here. Somebody hired her crazy liberal ass to give her a job and gave her $1 million contract. The city gave her $1 million contract, and now that's the way they're fixing the problems in California. This is how quickly the Cocoa Pops this motherfucking state is. Go ahead, gentlemen.
That's funny. You know what? We can create a whole committee because Glitter talking about setting a couple anaconda snakes loose and dealing with the beast. Because it's a beast. That is not a rat. You call it a beast.
J-Lo Ice Cube will run it.
Yeah. Because and plus we can save. We can save the city of LA so much money. Our committee. She getting $1 billion just to be able to say, "Oh, you take the pill and you take the pill before you release them, and the fleas and everything's gonna be all honky dory."
Yeah, for the rescue. You hear her say for the rescue. That's why I assume they start from the rescue because you say at the rescue you give them a pill and then you release them. That's why I thought that give it to them one time and then they go into the wild or whatever.
So we got
so much money being wasted.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. But here's the kicker. Okay, you've been in California for a long time. Remember way back in the Schwarzenegger era, we were doing all these propositions for homelessness. Remember those propositions? Yes. Okay, so I'm just tracking just off some basic receipts from 1990 until 2012. There was a total of 17 different programs to help the homeless that was supposed to raise at least a minimum of $2 billion each.
Yeah, Pete Wilson had that initiative as well.
Thank you. Oh, see, Jonathan, you got me holy dancing up in here. My shoe's about to break, holy dancing from what you saying, dog. Yes, someone's with me. And so the thing is that all this money that we have for homelessness, we could build a whole city for the homeless, and they can build their own economy. But what's happening is that money's not going to where it needs to be. And that's the big problem. That's the root of the problem. And so what they're doing is these liberals
auditing the books.
Yeah, but the thing is, we need the only person who can get them to audit the books is President Trump. We can't get to him and have these conversations with him because the Negro whisperers keep us out. They don't want Shirley up in there. They don't want Shirley up in there. Because let me tell you something. If Shirley, if you had a 2-hour closed door meeting with President Trump, you're gonna come out and California will be under martial law. Oh, and they'll be hunting your ass down. They say get Shirley out. They'll be looking for you.
And I'm gonna have you and Jonathan and a couple other people sidekicks on the side saying, "Oh, it's just not me, President Trump. Let me show you some other people." And
I'll be there with you. I don't care. And let me tell you something. And I will go in front of the press corps, and I said, all of you anti-black racist press people are responsible for this. And you guys are a failure. But I don't blame you. You're feeble-minded by nature. Anyways, let's move on.
Because we need to do something. We need to talk to Cuz about something. We need to talk to Trump about something.
So here we have established, gentlemen, that we have a rat issue in Los Angeles. We have a rat issue within the black community of the homeless, because 80 to 90% of the people who are homeless downtown LA are black. In California, which is only a couple of blocks away from Chinatown, who eat rats. Okay, so now we have a cultural mix, a concoction of health and sanitation and rats and typhus and black plagues. Now we're in the era of the viruses. Remember when those rats went downtown LA, I'm not going to show this video, but there was an attorney who was basically, she sued the city council, she sued City Hall because she got infected. That's the only reason they started to have to deal with it, because white people were getting infected. White people got bit.
And that's the only time they deal with something is when an alleged innocent white woman gets injured. I'm pretty sure that woman's a demon.
Now, Demon said the Atlanta also has rat issues. Do you guys put a thumbs up if you let me know what city's watching right now? Put in the comment section. Let me know what city you're in. Are you dealing with blacks and rat homeless people? Because I mean, we have 3 people here. We're from California, and I want to know if anybody out there who's not in California can tell me, are you dealing with the rats in your state, in your area? Because this is important to know this, because now there's a new virus. And this new virus comes from Korea. And they've been known about this virus. But now it's a concoction of cross-pollinating with what comes from China. And again, these cultures who come to America, and we have a whole Korean community that built its wealth off of black women and black hair. All you black women who buy black hair.
With help from Jesse Jackson and the Congressional Black Caucus.
And they didn't even do nothing. Yeah, well, the Congressional Black Caucus is a pain in the ass. They don't give a rat's ass about
I'm
black.
going for Jesse Jackson. 1984.
He is messy.
He said,
I'm voting for Jesse Jackson. He said it just like that, too.
And then Jesse said, Obama, cut his nuts off. Okay, we all over the place. But let's get into a reality of understanding the cultural effects in black community. And I want to talk about that, and I'm going to bring a special guest via video, and that is Mr. Research. Let's hear his perspective of what different cultures and how it affects black communities. This virus and how it affects us. And Mr. Research, what's your take on this matter?
So here's the thing that everybody got to understand as Americans. This is not about singling out one group. What it is about is, and this is something we as conservatives, go ahead, I'm sorry, Shirley.
No, go ahead, I'm letting you take the mic. Go for it.
This is something we as conservatives have been talking about in regards to things like NAFTA and going global. All that stuff was never necessary. America has been doing well with Americans buying American stuff. NAFTA was supposed to make this global thing where we benefit from having a world stage and everybody doesn't have to pay the high taxes. What does all that have to do? That has to do with this virus, because now that we've gone so global, what we as Americans have to face is, if it's an Australian person that has a different way of living, eating, and habitation, we got to deal with that now. We didn't have to before. If it's a German person coming over, if it's an English person coming over. So with this said, these are Chinese people in their area. They were told back in the SARS days, stop doing what you're doing. Less than 3-4 years, they go right back to doing the same thing. So if we cannot get our global cousins and world friends to understand that what they do on a global stage hurts and affects other people, including and more so Americans, then we got to stop dealing with people on a global level. That's my
And that's his take on it. What do you guys think about that? And what in respects to where we are now, because we're seeing the China virus and now we're seeing this Korean virus, and they are related in the fact that they both are Asian cultures of people who eat rats and bats and dogs and cats and don't wash their hands, and but we don't want to say anything because it's offensive. Now Tariq Nasheed yesterday, shout out to him, said a video. He said that there's fundraising money for those people that are saying we give money because of them being discriminated against, and we can't discriminate against the Asian community. But listen to what Mr. Research is saying. This globalist mindset of interaction is now burning us. We're dealing with the aftermath of it. I mean, somebody, what do you guys think?
I agree with Mr. Research wholeheartedly on that one, because NAFTA pretty much created an open door for people to come through here because of we do business with them, so they can be able to come here and help. Hell, we help fund a lot of foreign aid for Chinese. That foreign aid money, Chinese, they come through, they build shop, they come with these customs, these ass backwards customs with all this eating. I swear, bat eaters, dog. Like the video that you showed me, Miss Shirley, had looked like green piss that the bat was soaked in.
Right. Right.
Now, Mr. Research is definitely correct. We should have kept everything on a U.S.-based, very protectionist, seal and protect type of nation, a seal and protect, it has to be everything American breed. But NAFTA created all these problems, and NAFTA seemed like an irreversible thing.
Well, shout out to Kiki Green, who had a show today, and what she said was correct too. This is all about the green and the white greed of America. Now, I'm sorry, I don't like throwing a white card out too often.
Get ready to go do that.
But the white card of America had allowed these EB-5 visas. You guys allowed all these foreigners to come up here. They brought their families, and you didn't let them go into Brentwood or Beverly Hills or Westwood. You let them come into black communities. The same thing.
Exactly.
These El Salvadorians, these Guadalajarans, these Mexicans, they came into our communities, and we're your cousins. We have white blood within us. We're black colonists. You stepped on your family member to put these people ahead of you, and see, God is not happy. God is going to do a reckoning and a cleansing in the world, because you are not allowing people who are in line with what is right with human law. You can't eat rats and cats and dogs.
Shirley, you hear me?
You can't people. I can hear you. Go ahead.
Exactly. This whole, because remember, it all started with because keep in mind, over 120 years of sabotage and booby traps afterwards, because every time we build something with no money, we'll get brought back down because we'll get white mobs, and then you'll have the Highway Act will come and go straight to the black communities that were thriving based upon pulling ourselves about the bootstraps. But then in 1964, after the Civil Rights Act, that was supposed to help us, but it didn't. It helped the Ashkenazi Jews of Palestine, and it helped white women. But then they added an extra caveat, the Immigration Act, to ensure that was to guarantee that black people cannot get good wages and get a foothold and feel. This whole thing is about, and the foreign aid was given to them overseas, and then it was returned, given to those immigrants that came here, and then they opened up businesses in our neighborhood with no social security numbers and getting other business loans, so they'll get business grants and business loans on top of that to expand, and black folks couldn't even get a grant or get a loan at all. And so our money went to the Koreans, our money went to the Chinese, our money went to the Japanese, our money went to anybody and everybody named Akbu and Mei Ling and Kim Chi.
Anybody
and that's how it all happened. Everybody but us. And that's why exactly. And that's why, and even right now, they're talking about racism in the Asian community. If this is the best one for racism, I mean, literally this whole bill about helping the Asians is literally a spit and a freaking stab in the carotid artery of black people. Because if people just not going to Asian businesses is racism, then what the hell do we go through? It must be, we need a new word then. We need a whole new word to describe what we've gone through. Because we have
got Cardi talking about, you got Cardi B talking that.
Who's Cardi B?
Sorry?
Cardi B got a at a 4th grade level. What are we dealing with this woman?
Oh
She's got
yeah.
Exactly. We give
This
we
race
give
gets
her
aged.
so much
You
juice.
can't give these people too much
We give her
credence.
so much credit.
Yeah, you can't give them that much credence. They're not worth it. But let me say this much to both of you guys. You're right on the money when we talk about other cultures of people. The problem is, though, it comes back to us. It comes back to us because middle America doesn't understand the rage that we're all having in this video right now, gentlemen. They're saying, well, why are you so upset? Is it really that bad? But see, if you're in Wisconsin and you're black, or you're in Mississippi or Arkansas, or if you're in Louisiana, or you're in Nevada, not Nevada, I'm going to stay in the Midwest, Missouri, you may not realize the effects that these people are going to have when they keep migrating inward. Because see, the virus, the China virus, the numbers that are more infected are the outskirts of the states, the edge of America, the countries, the states that are on the borderlines, like California and Washington State and New York and Florida. Do you see the patterns there? They're close to Mexico, and a lot of Chinese and illegals come through Mexico. These are not clean people. And then, they're all worried about, is Trump going to cut down the sanctions? Is he going to do embargo? I think eventually you're going to see that come about. But what Trump is trying to do is simplify a communication line, which I'm going to give him a lot of credence. Today's message was very clear and very thorough. And I had Democrats who can't stand Trump had to say, you know what? He is the first president that when he speaks, I understand. I don't get caught up into the political jarble of the conversation. And I feel that he's a very thorough and upfront candidate that makes it clear. He's not speaking in the terms of candidacy or running. He's dealing with the crises for the people. He's not worried about his campaign. If you would have had a Hillary Clinton, we would have not seen anything of this go to America. We would be trying to save the world. We would have taken this virus on as if it was America's problem to fix the world. And that is not how Trump is addressing this. He's addressing this in a manner that this is America first. And we're seeing the American people, which I find it truly enjoyable to see the American people understand that America and your family comes first. Now, many of you guys are watching right now. You got to deal with your little baby. You can't get your weed every Thursday like you used to. No, you got to deal with little cuckoo Sheree Ray. You got to deal with Letitia and Tyrone and all the made up African names that you done named these children. And because you done slept around with all these different people, and then the different people all got to live together. You got to deal with that. And it should be opening your eyes to not only politics, but what you have created in your world and in your life. You got to deal with life right now. And some of y'all ain't managing. Even some of these celebrities then had these kids. Serena Williams came online saying, I got to deal with my daughter. She's a lot of work. You're used to having the babysitter. Guess what? The babysitter's at home with her family, and you have to deal with your family. This is the reality of what reality really is.
You mean her high IQ husband's not helping her? Oops, did I say that? Oh, sorry. Oops.
I'm sure he is, but you gotta remember they always have a little help with it. When you high end, think about it. When you get tired of your kid, it's easy to say, you know what, take the baby. I need a break. Go play with little Maria. Go play with little Tina. Okay, you can say they'll take him the baby and go play with some toys, and they're good. They ain't around no more. So being a parent is a 24-hour job. And I think the challenge is a lot of us have to deal with that. So let's
that's more of a that to me of having a babysitter all the time and having a nanny, that's more of a white thing, because I do remember back in the day when I was a little kid, when there was an interview that Gladys Knight was talking about when she had her kids. And I remember like black folks used to be like the Asians. We used to just have your mom or your grandparents would take care and raise us. It was like a family. The family was the babysitter. And even myself, my parents were at work, my aunts who worked nights and my grandparents, they would babysit us. We never really had babysitters growing up. But then when you have the destruction, when you have these Anglo liberals with their horrible policies of the crime bills and the police over policing that they engineer in the black community and the drugs and stuff like that, everyone's gone. Folks is dead. The uncles are all dead. The cousins are in jail and stuff like that. So now when folks are getting money, they don't have family member to turn to. And that's why all these kids like are turned out to be trans with these damn child molesting as nannies. Hashtag Zion Wade. Oh, did I say that out loud? Yes, I did. And don't care. No allegedly is being said either.
Flag. You got the X-Files. You got the
X-Files.
You know who shot Tupac. You knew who shot Biggie. You know who shot JFK.
Yes, he does.
Well, no, because it's like, because the thing is that I got just really quickly. Because my parents will always tell me, because my mom used to come home from work with all the racial discrimination. They were talking about her hair, talking about her as a black woman, and she did it because she had kids. And I saw my dad deal with it for 30 years for us. And my parents will always tell me, we're doing it so you don't have to. But when I got to corporate America, I kicked everyone's behind, and I still couldn't get promoted. I always had some underachieving Vivian and underachieving Ashley Becky feminists take a position, and then I was told, okay, if you want to get promotion in the next round, show Vivian that you're not bitter. Teach her everything you know. Why am I going to teach her my techniques? I'm the big black big dick nigga who runs this. Why am I going to give her my dick? It's my dick. I'm the one in charge. I beat her fair and square. I'm smarter. Get your ass in the back and learn from the back as I get the cash. But that's not how it works. So the system has not changed. So fuck these damn Democrats, fuck these feminists, and let's get get up out the goddamn paint. You're not smarter than me. You're not smarter than black women. Get out the goddamn paint, feminists. And Shamaka needs to take control. Let's go. Let's move. I'm done.
Shamaka, damn, Shamaka. Shout out to Real Money who just gave us $10. $10 make me holla. $10 make me holla.
Dude, no, I'm tired because then in corporate America, because in corporate America, okay, so black men that are successful, they do not like black men who are good and successful. They always come after you. I get that. But black women that are overly successful, okay, you're gonna give them a pass. Okay, so fine, pass me over. I would rather lose. I would not have no problem losing to a black woman that's not as good as me, as long as it's a black woman. Because I know that with her, she ain't gonna do no messiness. And I've seen this in corporate America all the time. We have these overachieving black girls, like one of my homegirls, Tayola. Let me tell you something. When it comes to sales, my homegirl Tay is the boom mother effing Gucci. You send her to any territory, she'll turn around in literally like 4 months. Do you know they passed her over for some ratchet chick who couldn't even do a sales call at our sales meeting? She did like a presentation and she fumbled it. And then her territories never did successful. She never got President's Club, but she got the position over Tayola. And then Tay was told, okay, teach her everything you know. That don't make no sense. And that's why this system's not working in America. That's why you have all this debt, because the smart people in the country are not getting these positions. They're always get passed over by these ratchet ass underachieving feminists. And I'm done. Get your ass about the goddamn paint.
So we've got all these people online. Listen, Jim, listen. We've got people online who are totally agreeing with you, Flagship. They are on fire with you. They love Jonathan and what you're saying. I'm reading the chat room, but a lot of our people are affected with the rats, with the homeless, and the displacement, and the favoritism of different states. Here we have Diana in Washington. We have them talking about it in Atlanta. I saw somebody in Virginia out there talking about it. Pam is agreeing totally 100% with you, Flagship. This is an issue that we know that's being done to us, but we sit back and I don't know what's wrong with us, because we keep blaming them. Look, we have North Virginia, even them saying, hey, it's 2:08 in the morning here, but I'm listening. I'm with you. I'm with you on this quarantine. I'm with you on the fact that black people are dealing with rats and roaches and they're homeless, and we're the last thing thought about. What's the solution? Because
the solution is that we need to stop losing our place. When we're the smartest people, and we're the people who have the ideas. We have the people who should be in charge. We cannot let these people. We need to. I don't know if we need to be more aggressive. Maybe we need to start drop kicking people in the workplace. But something we need to do, because we're done with these Mayor Garcetti idiots who's literally. The only reason why he's mayor is because his father was mayor and his father was a power broker or whatever. And so we need to start getting we need to get rid of this nepotism, and we need to start being more aggressive. Because that's what I think that we are as a body politic. That's why this whole things of tangible 2020 is coming out, because we're realizing that this whole everybody coalition crap ain't working for us.
Well, you know, like Rick said too, when you have all these Chinese people claiming that now I'm a victim, people won't buy from me, people don't like me, you know, well, there's a reason why they don't like you and they don't want to buy from you. You guys are a part of the authoritarianism system, and you brought your authoritarianism system ways here. You don't respect people when they're in your store. You treat them like another kind of unhumane manner. And you've always done that in the Black communities. And the Koreans have to deal with this too, because they're the ones that shot that Black girl in the back when she walked away. And then we didn't go out protesting in the street. And instead, they let that woman go back to Korea. So
yeah, exactly. And
so
also another case happened in Oklahoma.
Well,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Where's the accountability among the Black community? Because we can't keep saying white America and the government and local people when it clearly starts from the people, which is us. I believe the generation below me and below, I don't know the age of Jonathan, but I know what Demetrius is. And Flagship, I know what he is. So I can tell you, if we look at the ages of people, let's say 30 and 20, you guys got to take the reign, because ain't nobody going to give you no baton, honey, because they didn't give it to us. So the best way you're going to have to do is take the baton and hit them in the head and say, no, boo-boo, we ain't doing it like that no more. Y'all going to
we didn't make a baton. That's what we need to make a baton and then start roundhouse kicking people.
They're not going to help you, and they're not going to care about you. Go ahead. We've been shutting out Jonathan. Let Jonathan talk. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Because the affordable housing situation is so crazy. That's why.
Why is it? Before you start, you're going into affordable housing, you're pivoting, but it's okay. I'm gonna tell you real quick. Affordable housing and housing is controlled by the Asians and the Armenians, because they came here on these EB-5 visas, and they came here with cash when the market crashed in 2008. And they flooded into the housing arena, and they bought these units and they bought houses, and now they have skyrocketed prices, and they're controlled by Asian communities who give a damn about what's going on with coronavirus, because there's no bill in place. And even now the bill is signed or in place, it still doesn't matter to them because they want their money. So you have the people who are not compassionate. These are not passionate people for your best interest. These are people who just want their money. Go ahead, Mr. Johnson, keep going.
But yeah, because I saw the house that's, I think, somewhere on Gage. I'm trying to remember the cross street, but it was like $863,000, and the house looked ancient. I said, yeah, this is Asian doing right here. Asian came with an $800,000 bag on a house that's supposed to be probably $200,000, to be honest. So yes, they do them crazy games, hyperinflate the price and basically force you out like that. That's really, I see what happens when it comes to this homeless displacement type bullshit that's going on. You know, they pricing everything out. They doing all these unnecessary mega developments. In Inglewood,
make it so that we should live all stacked and racked and tacked on each other, because I would say no.
Oh, well, Jonathan, one thing about you said about the Inglewood situation, this is all by design, because they want their cities back. Remember in the 60s when you had white flight? Well, guess what? They flying back in. They want their cities back.
yeah, because
so that's what's happening.
All changed in the 60s.
They want us back. They want us out the cities, and then they want us out in the suburbs, and they're going back in the cities.
So Jonathan, Flagship, Richard wants to know, what's the solution for Black America becoming in power in the U.S.? I mean, we talk about reparations. We have all these new YouTubers have popped up. Many of us who've been on the scene as far as activists out in the community. We know that it comes down to, Richard, legislation. And it comes down to creating a better policy for us. But the problem is, as soon as we even think of reparations or an idea of some type of piece of legislation, you have these capers out there, these people.
Oh, yes. Well, the solution is first we have to be, first of all, we have the mindset of being selfish. And we have to get straight hood and ignorant again. Because the farther and farther along that we keep going, the harder and harder it's going to be to get back. First of all, we need to say no more Black and brown, no coalition. We are on our own talking about Black issues. And when anyone tries to come in there, no, shut up. Get out the goddamn paint. We need to shout their asses out and shout their asses down. We need to get these politicians out. We need to start getting legislation to help Black people. And another thing, the third piece that we need to do is we need to get in front of President Trump by any freaking means necessary. He keeps sending shots across the bow to the Black community, but unfortunately, we don't have the leadership to get that, to go ahead and get that bow and take that line all the way to the White House and talk about our issues. That's what we need to do. Let
me add something to the table. This is my opinion, and I agree with everything that you're saying, Flagship, but I think the first thing we honestly need to do is boycott. And the first boycott—
But we can't boycott, though. I mean, that's so hard.
Let me finish my thought.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We have to boycott. We cannot allow these Chinese, Korean people to continue to have their stores, their markets, their hair salon, their nail shops, their restaurants, and treat us like a piece of crap. This is a perfect opportunity and a segue. Wouldn't you agree with this, Flagship and Jonathan? This is a great segue to say, okay, let's stop allowing ourselves to put our money into their pockets. Because when you stop putting money into their pocket, they can't keep growing. They can't grow politically. They cannot grow socially. They can't grow economically. Let somebody else feed their families, because there's no cross-pollination going on here, people. There's no reciprocity going on, meaning that when they're in our communities and we've got restaurants, they won't come eat at our foods. They won't sit at our tables, but they want us to spend our money with them. Where is reciprocity when it comes to these other cultures? Just like we heard with Mr. Research. I want to hear Mr. Research a little bit more, and we're going to keep going. Hold on, gentlemen.
My conservative thing speaking first. Now let me talk directly to the virus. What you guys got to understand, some of the key points on the video that Shirley just played. Won't start human trials for 3 months. Let me say it again. Won't start human trials for 3 months. Within 5 days, we've had 170 people die over there. But you're not going to start human trials for 3 months? Okay, let me give you another point. The best solution right now, because they say they don't have a vaccine. Let me say it again. Don't have a vaccine, ain't going to start for 3 months. But they're relying on people who may have the virus to cover their mouths. This ain't me trying to scare nobody. This is me being honest on what they're telling us to do. Hey, don't be scared, but we don't have a vaccine. We ain't gonna really start nothing for 3 months. We're still trying to figure it out, and cover your mouth. Cover my mouth? I don't have the virus. Oh, we gotta rely on the person with the virus to not spread it to us. Okay. Number 3, it's airborne. It has mutated in less than 72 hours. Oh, nothing to see here. This is kind of like SARS. Wait a minute. How are you saying it's kind of like SARS? And it's the first time, well, not the first time, but it's one of the rare few times that a virus has jumped from animal to human. So it's person to person. Let's be clear about that. No matter what anybody feels about the information we're going to talk about, let's be clear. It is airborne. CDC is still trying to figure it out. There is no vaccine. Trials won't begin for another 3 months. And Democrats want to be global. Some of you American bleeding heart people want to be global. I understand, but you have to also take a step back and say, wait a minute. We don't know how this is going to affect our homeless situation if they get it. They're in the metro cities. It may run rapid. These people have shut down all of their airports now. You got Russia denying access to China immigrants while America is still taking them. You guys got to stop playing with this. Shirley, I'm going to back up off the mic.
What's your take on Mr. Research, you guys?
I love Russia.
Because Russia didn't play. They dealt with it right away. They said, oh, no, we're going to shut this down immediately. We're not going to put up with this. And I think the challenge is that America is always that nice, comfortable pillow that takes on the world. And we've allowed this whole mindset from the Democrats, this globalist mindset, that we're going to be the ones to fix everything and everybody. And we cannot do that anymore. And particularly the Black community, because you are the fault, Black people. It's your fault. And I just say, why do you say that, Shirley? I'm going to say that because you pander to these people. You've bought their food, and I'm to blame too. I'm not going to pass the baton. I'm going to hold the responsibility to that. We've ate their food, we bought from their stores, we've done their nails. The Vietnamese come in our community, they act like they like us, but they do not cross-pollinate with us. They do not take the same money. They don't do reciprocity, which means they don't exchange funds. If I buy in your store, you buy in my store, we all become wealthy together. No, it's about domination. It's about people who come into your communities, into your stores, into your markets, who disrespect you, your mother, your grandmother, who disrespect the elderly Black and the younger Black, and have us put in jail, who will call the police on your people. They'll call this Black man, get him out of my house. No, we don't want him here. Get him out of my store. That Asian man who slapped that Black woman in his hair salon, y'all remember that story? He slapped that Black woman, and because she was disciplining her son and said, no, we're going to leave. He didn't like how he disciplined, and he just slapped her for no reason. And there's numerous of cases. And then you have Black men later on protesting, saying, hey, women, don't buy the hair anymore. You saw that on Afro Synergy. No, you saw that on Phil from the Advice Show. The Diaspora African Channel did that show a long time ago. Look this up. See, these Asian people with their attitudes of authoritarianism, it's a real issue. Now, we're not anti-Asian like Mr. Research had said. Let's do a disclaimer here because you guys are going to think we're attacking the Asian community. There's a responsibility. This is why President Trump called it the China virus. If there's not going to be anybody held responsible, how can we fix the problem?
Thank you. There it is, right there. Right there.
Man, we'd be defending everybody against Trump. Hell, if there was Hitler next to Trump, we would still side with Hitler. We would.
Oh, I got into an argument with my mother about President Trump, and I started breaking things down. She's like, "Oh yeah, that is kind of right." I was like, "I know it's right."
you just watch TV, too much TV. That too much TV, too much.
Yep. But the thing, I want to talk to you about the boycott of the Asian stores. But the thing is also we're starting to do that now, because keep in mind we have to talk about how the Asian store domination over our hair care products came about. It didn't happen through hard work and capitalism. It happened through domination. We keep in mind, family, Jesse Jackson, Mayor Tom Bradley, the Congressional Black Caucus in the 70s, in the 60s actually wanted to get in good with the Koreans after the Korean War. They passed several pieces of legislation.
Especially Tom Bradley.
Right. And so what they did was they passed a lot of the legislation to where you only could get the products from South Korea. Because remember, you had all like Bonners and you had BBs, you had there was Cream of Nature. All these companies were Black-owned companies, like with Black men, Black women, Shamaka and Tyrell at the top with their kids. These were black companies with black employees. Well, that all changed because what happened was they couldn't get their natural resources from their various different places. They had to only buy from South Korea. And South Korea was like, well, wait, I ain't gonna give you the natural resources. We're gonna take over the whole industry. And that's why it literally happened in like 3 years. Within 3 years, everyone was all wiped out. You still have the names. It was like what Shirley said, like at that Baltimore food court. You had Black names, but you had Asian people owning it. So yeah, you get the familiar. So instead of you having a Black business, you have a business that is skewed Black, but it's not really Black, but it's skewed Black. See what I mean by that? And so that's what actually happened. So what's happening now is under this whole entire movement for tangibles, you have Black women getting their balls right now. Black women said, "Nah, we're about to take over this motherfucker one more again." And so you have all these. There's a Black man too, Shea Moisture, but you have all these natural Black hair care companies with Black women like, "Nah, we're taking this bitch back right now." And then you have Honey Pot. What I love, and this is how I know that we're ready as Black people to boycott these and start our own economics, which is a solution. Because what happened with Honey Pot, keep in mind, them feminists and them Chinese folks went after Honey Pot, and guess what? Black folks got online and started buying it. She sold out for like 4 months. All her product was sold. And guess what? Now, Black women don't have to go to Summer's Eve because I remember I talked to my sister about this. Summer's Eve used to give her hives. So she had to make her own stuff at home. She started using Honey Pot, and now finally her stuff is good to go down there. And I didn't know that this was an issue. But with Honey Pot, she talks about that in her commercials. Is that there's nothing really out there for Black women because they have a different body type, which is true, which is real. And so that's why I think that we're already starting that process of boycotting and making our own solution, making our own companies.
I agree with you on that. But I think the dot connection of us buying from our own people, not only the hair products, but allowing us to be able to get credit for our own restaurants and our own stores and our own goods.
Right, but Shirley, but that takes something bigger because remember, they keep resources from us. And they keep resources from us, and we can't get those loans. And that's why we need to get in front of President Trump. That's going to be something else. We need something bigger and better. And we also need the tools, because not everyone knows how to run a business. We also need those tools to know about how to run a business plan, how to do a marketing plan, how to run these restaurants as well, because a lot of Black folks have great intentions, and then they just mess up because they don't have that technical skill.
Yeah, lack of business sense. A lack of business sense. Yeah, I agree.
But let's go back.
That's why we need apprenticeships, honestly, because I believe that, with President Trump, he was talking about apprenticeships in his 10-point plan for the Black community. I think we need to keep bringing that up as well, because it needs to be a lockstep, very intertwined, interconnected type of initiative, because apprenticeships, they pretty much bring the veteran aspect of mentorship. And with SBA loans need to be accessible, where Black American breed, definitely need to be able to access those. It needs to be more easier because, thank you, Miss Shirley, for having that, the last video being about loans and lending and try to find who is lending on which, this, that, and the third. Thank you on that one. That was much needed.
I'm gonna do another money video upcoming this week. I am gonna pivot to more positive stuff, you guys, but I gotta kind of leave it raw and real right now because there's so much with these rats and this new virus coming up. And I know we're covering a lot of bases here, but it still pertains to wealth, the well-being of Black people, and how we need to say, you know what, if you just leave us the hell alone, because that's basically what Flagship is saying, and Johnson, just leave us the hell alone, give us our coins and watch us grow. But don't cape us. But you got all these Black capers out there, and I still I'm gonna go back to boycotting. I gotta show you another video. See, because these people act as authoritarianism. They don't respect you in your space. Let me show you what they're doing in California now when you go out and eat. This is now as a situation with this virus.
A local Chinese restaurant is taking drastic measures to keep the staff and customers from the coronavirus. So no one is allowed to be seated without a temperature check. So
nasty
may be the new norm as this virus continues to spread.
KCAL 9 Orange County reporter Michelle Gili is live in Tustin with that story. Michelle?
Well, in Orange County, this is a first for sure. And the greeting goes something like this. Please step inside and show us your forehead so we can make sure you're not sick. Before Alex, he sat down at his table for lunch.
They just look nasty. Look at them, just nasty.
A member of the wait staff pointed an infrared thermometer at his forehead.
Yeah, 8.2 is pretty good temperature. It helps to protect people too, because it has to be at some point.
Now I want you to understand. The reporter said, "Guess what? This is the new normal." This is the liberal progressives in California. Now she said this was in Tucson, California, right? That's Orange County.
A white area.
But this is Alhambra. Alhambra has a large Hispanic Asian community. So it started out in Alhambra. That's one restaurant they're showing. This restaurant taking temperatures in Alhambra to all the way to Orange County where this gentleman is here. Let's keep listening.
Alex, he sat down at his table for lunch at Sichuan Impression in Tustin. A member of the wait staff pointed an infrared thermometer at his forehead to get his temperature.
Yeah, 98.2 is pretty good temperature. It helps to protect people too, because it has to be done at some point.
Okay, now his mind is all whapped and
Because he's dirty. He nasty.
But you keep it. I'm not trying to attack these people personally. I'm trying to have the family understand. Stop joking. Listen.
I'm not joking. We need to stay away from these people. They nasty. Straight up. That's solution number one. Stay away from them. They nasty. Done. Next solution.
New station flagship. Listen. They said This is the new normal. This is the new normal. This is how California does subliminal messages. Write that word down, family. Subliminal messaging of acceptance of another culture that has been raised under authoritarianism of unhealthy sanitation. And that's where Flagship says it's nasty. I don't need to know that when I go out to eat dinner, I got to have you take my damn temperature. I ain't gonna eat your fucking food. I'm sorry, people. I'm not eating your food. I'm not knocking on your door. I'm not walking in. What do you mean you got to take? This is the new normal. So everywhere we go in America, because we've allowed ourselves to be cultivated, like Mr. Research said earlier, we've allowed other cultures to come into our country, and now they've cultivated another culture. We're talking about culture, not talking about ethnic background, culture regarding to lifestyle, into our culture that now we're going to accept. Now we all got masks. We got gloves. You got that done. They've been doing that for years and decades. We've seen them do that. Yeah, now you got Hantan virus, Waktan virus. And they're going to have a nigga virus soon from all the rats eating us up on the street. You got the nigga virus? You too can have the nigga virus. Okay, now you got.
And I guarantee if the coronavirus was black, and keep in mind, let's also talk about how HIV and AIDS, how they flipped that from a white male gay disease, how they flipped it to monkeys in Africa when AIDS was never in Africa. And then how they try to put black folks on with this HIV AIDS thing. And now you start to see these PrEP commercials for like PrEP. I'm taking the pill. I'm taking the pill for PrEP so you don't get HIV, Truvada, whatever. And they got black men on that damn thing. See, stuff like that. When it comes to they try to do these subliminal messaging by trying to make everything negative black. But this one, I guarantee within a month, the coronavirus is going to come from Compton. Or it came from Compton and East St. Louis.
Different. It'd be called Compton virus.
Exactly. I guarantee they're going to do that.
But we're cracking jokes, but serious. On all serious notes here, if you're going to accept another culture of people, and then this should be illegal. You cannot take people's temperature and ask them to come in your restaurant. We should say, no. The health department should say, then you should not allow customers to come in. That's not how we operate in America. They could have done that quietly, gone there, and all these letter grade people. But see who's eating their food? See, this is what they don't assimilate. They do not assimilate. They don't even want to associate. They want you to adapt to their culture on your home ground. How is that America? Talk to me, gentlemen.
I'll let Jonathan go first.
That's some more disrespectful ass shit. I swear, Asians. I don't know, man, because we know what's going on, but there's like 97% of black folks that don't even know what's even going on. They don't know who the players are. They don't know who are the enemy are. They just spin.
Right, because they have us confused and they have us caught up in Carly B and the police and these horrible teachers, and they have us so busy in the black community. We're just busy in the black community. You just stay busy, so you can't sit down and focus on what the hell is going to freak on.
We everywhere, but not what needs to be there. And
exactly,
Miss Shirley. Miss Shirley's doing God's work in showing this, because there a lot of people wouldn't even know about how filthy the Asians truly their culture and the way how they do things is really filthy. If authoritarian, basically do as I say,
right,
or get knocked upside the head with a broomstick, which I don't know why we keep patronizing them. But my short-term answer, I'm going to say is I do e-commerce, I trade Forex. Black people need to focus on digital, STEM, trading, something where basically people can't see you face to face, because with e-commerce, you can pretty much beat racism because they don't know who you are on the other side.
Let me ask you this. Are we going to become a community, not a country, But that's how it starts. It starts in the community, then it moves to the state, and then it moves to the federal level, where we talk about this globalist mindset. But we're allowing this authoritarianism and socialism are really operating now in America. It's getting a little taste of Americans are starting to understand how dictatorships really do rule. Where you have leaders who are on a local level, like Gavin Newsom, who's now bringing in the National Guard, and we're going to see more guards here. And President Trump said today, I believe California is going to be quarantined. I'm hoping, but for some reason in my mind, I'm thinking they're going to have barriers between states. They're not going to be set up, but they're going to say, you're now driving out of California. Why are you driving out?
I can't go to Vegas no more.
Right. You can't go to these states. You're from California. You're going to be quarantined for X amount, and we're going to take your temperature, and you're going to need papers to get out. I pray it doesn't arrive to that level, but I believe that certain states are going to be more quarantined than some of the ones that you guys have Midwest or back east. I think it's just different. I just do. If we're going to start now taking people's temperatures when they come to eat at restaurants, and this is normal for them. They don't mind to see they're smiling and they're, oh, it's good. And then we have owner. This lady's the owner. Let's hear what she has to say. Hold on a second, family.
99% of people, they really understand. They also cooperate with the taking like temperature, and they understand this like a protection for everybody here. My employee and all the customers here, they can enjoy the lunch or dinner here, right?
Are wiped down with an alcohol spray. From the tables to the windows to the door handles, sanitization is priority one, and the patrons are grateful.
I mean, I know that when we're selecting places to go for lunch, this one comes up a lot because we appreciate the extra precautions that they're taking. So the food is absolutely delicious, so that definitely doesn't hurt.
It's nice, they make us use hand sanitizer when we come in, and they check our temperature. So it's just a little extra precaution.
Extra precaution. It's okay. How is this normal? Is this the new normal, gentlemen? I mean, tell me, is this the new normal?
If government don't stop it at a macro level, then I guess it's because really with the Asians, it's either we get our money up and buy them out and pretty much take it like that, which that's going to be extremely hard because they pretty much ran the numbers up where it's $1 million home for a 100-year-old type of home, which that's a wasted investment. But I think it has to be when it comes to these viruses and everything. I guess people have to build the immune system up. Like I've been working out like a speed demon. I've been making sure I take my vitamins, and I hope Black people take their vitamins as well, especially black seed oil, which California banned. Which
they banned black seed oil. I just got mine in the mail.
Well, the FD, I believe that who's in charge of
Food and Drug Administration.
There we go. They had a warning. They have the warning stamp. They're supposed to, if you don't have a warning stamp on your black seed oil, then they can ban it. Which that warning stamp, you know what they're trying to do. They're basically trying to steer people away from using natural holistic medicines and basically saying take our pharmaceutical pill, which
and that's why all the holistic doctors been dead over the last 3 years. Been like 130 holistic doctors dead for weird circumstances. That don't happen.
Shit that they can be able to cure themselves. So yes, it's a very spooky, fishy world. But when it comes to Black people making sure that their immune system is up, please do your due diligence and research pumpkin seed oil as well.
Oh, pumpkin seed oil. I didn't know about that.
And we just got to make sure that our immune system is okay. Make sure you have a gun with you at all times. I keep a gun with me at all times now with this not coming in for break-ins. Anybody heard that?
Dang, Jonathan.
Anybody heard that? Police not going to be able to come in and break in. So you have to. This is the time where Black people should come together. But since we're quarantined, and plus, I don't know, we beef on every single little thing. It kind of makes it even hard to be able to form like Voltron. Because really, in a perfect world, we can form like Voltron.
So let's hear the news that just happened in Dallas, Texas. We went ahead and talked about the police. I posted this on my Facebook page.
Is that Colin Noir?
What?
Is that Colin Noir?
That's Colin, baby. Let's hear what
Lord
Colin
Jesus.
I
Lord
love
help
you,
us.
Colin. Be quiet.
Are you still? Oh God. Oh,
quiet.
good.
Let's hear.
I'm gonna give you a pass on that one.
Okay, can you be quiet? Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Let's go ahead and let's segue into what Jonathan had mentioned.
At home doing the whole quarantine thing.
This video just came out 5 days ago, by the way. Oops. This video just came out 5 days ago. Hold on.
This video from a friend of mine.
Here at the Plano Police Department have actually been assigned now to work out of the city's public libraries for the time being because an officer tested positive here. In Dallas, where another officer has been diagnosed with coronavirus, police officers will no longer respond to calls about car break-ins, vandalism, or shoplifting.
Did you see that? Did you hear what he said? He said the police department has been shut down at Plato, Texas. Plato, Texas is right above Dallas, Texas. So this is the police department in that area, and they shut it down because they have several cases of officers who have been infected with coronavirus. So they moved everything into the library. So they said in the news, this is how stupid the news is. The news let the people know, look, if you got some issues, the police ain't coming to protect you. We will not protect you.
But here's the thing, though, Shirley. On Plano, Texas, like 95% of people in Plano got guns and shotguns and militias
Plano,
and stuff.
Texas is like Austin, Texas. It's a high-tech community. Plano, Texas.
Yeah, but
Plano, Texas has a lot of Californians there, so that's one reason they probably got infected. Just truth to know to self. Let's see the video though. Hold on. Hold your thought.
An officer tested positive here. In Dallas, where another officer has been diagnosed with coronavirus, police officers will no longer respond to calls about car break-ins, vandalism, or shoplifting.
This video will come as a shock to a lot of people who grew up with the belief that the police are here to protect you. I know a lot of cops, and they're good people, but they do not have a duty to protect you. The Supreme Court literally said this in 1989 in the landmark case of DeShaney v. Winnebago. The court held that the failure by the government workers to protect someone, in this case a 4-year-old boy, from physical violence or harm from another person, in this case his father, did not breach any substantive constitutional duty. Fast forward to 2020 during a pandemic, and police around the country are letting you know that they are not coming. Not because they don't want to, but because they can't. This is a unique situation where they could be infecting you without even knowing it. So they have to triage their calls and go to the most important ones, which means you are on your own for the most part. But this is exactly why we have the Second Amendment. The whole purpose of it was to give power to the people to protect themselves. Can you imagine being in any of the countries around the world where their citizens don't have a right to bear arms and hearing the police say, if you call us, we can't come? Do you realize how helpless you would feel? Yet here in America, where we have an unbridled right to own firearms, a large portion of our country is actively trying to give that right away in exchange for complete dependence on the government for their safety. The same government that is now telling you that they can't come if you call them. I'm sorry, but after seeing and hearing this, anyone still talking about limiting people's Second Amendment right in order to keep them safe is an idiot at best and an evil at worse. I'm sure they have.
We can pack their ass out.
But understand that that announcement was like a bat signal to every criminal on the street, and it's going to embolden a lot of people to do dumb shit. If you have a gun, keep it loaded and ready to go. If you don't have a gun, sell some toilet paper and go buy a gun. Because as I've said before, and I'll keep saying again and again and again, the only person responsible for your safety is you. Right now, there's a culture war against the Second Amendment, which is why I need your help spreading our message to counter their message.
Make sure you guys follow Colin. I think he's amazing. I will put his link down below after our video. I appreciate this message. And I'm going to tell you why. Because it really comes down to we have to protect ourselves. This is the problem that we have, my people. We are not having these conversations because we've been scared to use a gun because we know the guns have been used on us. But now you're hearing the police say that they're not going to protect these people. And then now you have people in America, in particular California, Nevada, Washington State. They were a couple of years back, and I saw the articles. They took them down, but I'm telling you, the articles were there. They were exchanging your gun for a Walmart gift card. Turn your gun in and you'll get a Walmart gift card. Now, they used to be on the police cars. Listen, let me talk. It used to be on the police cars. They used to say, listen, serve and protect. If you look, they don't say that on the cards anymore. I don't think they say that on the cars anymore. They're supposed to serve and protect because they're saying we don't really do that anymore. We kind of do a lot of other stuff, you know, but we don't kind of really serve and protect. That little book you read when you were a little boy and Johnny knew the police officer by name and he helped him go to school, or he helped him, he was serving and protecting the community. He was that guy you ran to. He's the guy you run from now. He's a new slave master. He's the new armed, equipped guy under Obama and Bush and Reagan and all the rest of these administrations. But if we as Black people are not going to take arms and allow Rosewood to happen again and Black Wall Street to continue to happen again, and now we've got this epidemic where now every man stands for himself. You guys have to face your reality that you're sleeping with tonight, the houses that you're communing with, the families that you reside with. You can't go out like you used to. You need to really dissect what is going on in the world and how it really truly has now affected you because of the irresponsible actions that we have allowed to happen to us because of bad leadership, legislators, and immigrants, and people coming in with authoritarianism mindset. Oh, we're just going to take your temperature. This is the new normal. You don't need a gun. Now, guess what? The police aren't going to protect you. Guess what you need? Something's wrong with that. Johnson, talk to me.
I agree with you. I agree with you. We being misled by so many mirrors, so many smoking mirrors, and people has gone so Ben Loco crazy on where now they blame the president. The president and the army went to Wuhan and created this. No. Where now you got the media, they play these subversive games, and like you are right, this is a new world. This is definitely a new vibe that we gotta be working with until further notice. And having a gun with you is needed because nobody's not gonna come for you. You know, in California, they try to do some gun bans on the sly. Then the media spin it off and saying that, oh, white supremacists wanting to be able to buy guns. No, I saw some Black faces in that mix too that was trying to be able to get some guns, which you got guns, but I think they're going to do a gun ban here in California, a full gun ban where they basically crack down on it.
And you know, the history of the gun ban right now in California, where we used to have you could do open carry, just like in Texas, you know, they can walk around and open carry. You know what stopped that was the Black Panthers. The Black Panthers found a loophole, and because they got tired of the police officers and white people walking around butting guns against them when they walk down the street, and they said, you know what? I got this little fisherman's book, and it says that I can go ahead and carry a gun because I'm licensed to carry a gun because I go hunting, I go fishing, I go hunting. So they got their license as everybody else, and then they had guns. And so Ronald Reagan and Nixon were in charge of that era. And they said, oh, hell no, we ain't gonna let these niggas have guns. They walked
there it is.
To Sacramento. And remember, Ronald Reagan was governor. Ronald Reagan wasn't president, he was governor. Nixon was president. And Ronald Reagan, then all those white people got scared, quote unquote, got scared, and then they passed a law.
And the NRA was with them. The NRA was with them. With the Cola Noirs were with them.
They were, and then ended up happening is a law that they thought they were hurting Black people hurt themselves. They hurt themselves. See, this is the interesting part about white America. In their laws that they put to pass to affect Black people, they forget we are your cousins. We are your extension. We are Black colonists. We are foundational builders, okay? Don't get it twisted when an understanding a descendant of slave is a foundational builder. We understand the rules and regulations. Matter of fact, we are the architect of the lands that you walk upon. So every time you think you're going to survey and rechange the structures of laws and think that it don't affect you, think again, white America, because of that bad decision making that took place in those time frames. Now look where California is. At least Texas has a better position of saying, back up, partner. You know, we both are loaded right here, right? Okay. The crimes are higher in California because of people's lack of respect of space and distance and law and of order. But now we don't do protect and serve anymore, like Ms. Rainey said out there. Rainey, who said that out there. We don't do protect and service. What we do is we do operation of numbers. Well, you know what? We need to have it so that we have more privatized prisons. And we need to get more people in jail. And we need to meet a certain quota. And we need to have these private businesses that pay congressmen and developers that pay congressmen and senators and local legislators under deals to make money. You have to allow us to just kind of bend the law, and we'll step on the backs of the blacks and we'll let them be homeless and let the rats eat them. Let's have more rats eat black people. Let's just go ahead and let them eat them.
And there it is right there.
It's got to stop, my people. Unless we wake up and say something, it's got to stop. Go ahead, Flagship, talk to me. What's your thought on that?
Well, that's exactly what's happening. And like you said, that the police do not protect and serve. No, they don't. Elisa Cabrera talks about this in great detail. It's about that prison population. And what's his name? The amazing Lucas did this video about this guy who was leaving brunch with his family, and the police just rolled up on him with guns, just boom, just out of nowhere, all 15,000 sections. Just rolled up on him. And so he was just like, what the heck's going on? He's like, you know what, whatever. He yielded. He put his hands up above his head. And then one of the police, he was complying. They tased him. The tase didn't go through. So then one of the police officers get ready to handcuff him because they were supposed to give him an alleged warrant, which later on find out it was the wrong guy. He had no warrants. He's never even been arrested. And he was a family man who's married with kids, taking care of his babies. But that's another story. And so then the police officer steps back and kicks him. And so trying to catch his balance, he's like discombobulated because he got kicked from his back because he didn't know it was coming. So then he was moving around. They took him down to the ground and they said he was resisting arrest and it was his fault. And do you know that they charged that man with resisting arrest when he wasn't supposed to be arrested in the first place? That's what we deal with. And they could probably convict, if he ain't got no money for no lawyer, they could probably convict him. And this is the kind of stuff that we deal with in the community, which kind of goes with what Shirley was just talking about.
So you've got a combination of police brutality and a combination of homelessness with a combination of infesting hepatitis A, Black Plague, or rats. I mean, we got receipts after receipts after receipts for our people. What's the solution? What's the solution? Because I told you start with the money. And the money means that we don't cultivate ourselves with these cultures anymore, because they're not standing. There's no black and brown, like Flagship said. Oh, let's go to the black and the brown. We're going to work together. No. There's no black, brown, black, pink, black, red, black, white. It's black people have to understand that Black Americans in particular, because sometimes you even get Africans who say, oh, no, I'm not like them. I'm not like them. What does that mean?
They're not like it. Yep, exactly.
They'll put that notion out there. Oh, no, I'm not like them, like those people. Well, what, nigga, what you mean? I know what you mean. You said you're Black American, right? No, my sister. No, I ain't your sister now, bro. What the hell are you talking about?
The solution is economics. Because the thing is,
money. It always comes down to money.
We have to get our economics game going. It's going to be a long road. It's not going to be happening in the next It's going to be a long time. It was a long time to get us in here. It's going to take a long time to get us out. But we have to start focusing on trying to get our community together, try to buy from our own, and get these hair care products. That's why I'm starting a skincare line. That's why I'm in the process of doing that right now. Because the thing is, I know Black people spend the most money on skincare, lotions, and moisturizers and hair products. We literally are the entire industry. That's why I'm getting my skincare line popping off. And guess what? I'm hiring all Black folk. It's gonna be a whole bunch of Negroes up in there. You're like, damn. You
have to understand the entrepreneurship is the way, and we're going to talk about that on another show. But I totally agree with you, Flagship.
And military.
And technology.
Yep.
The technology, we need more of our people there. When you guys have a chance, go to Netflix and watch a show called She Did It. And it's a documentary that's really great about Black women who have supporter counterpoints of Black men and women who are supporting each other and rebuilding up the community, and that we have to be allies with one another. We cannot no longer fight and be enemies. But like I said, in this video, today's subject matter is talking about the rats and the blacks and the homeless people. Now, I believe that this new virus, which is not a new virus, but it's up and coming virus again. Let me show this video one more time for those who might just chimed in. Make sure you guys get the like button up, please. And please share my video. I appreciate it. But I want to tell you the pandemic that is the new one in conjunction to the China virus is the new Korean virus. That is not a new virus, but is a virus coming up again with the rats. And if you've got homeless people where people eat rats on a stick, and the homeless people downtown LA are only at least 2 or 3 blocks away from each other, we've got a problem. But this is a new epidemic. Let's hear it again.
Spreading, and there's already a new scare from China, a new killer virus. It's called the Hantavirus. You must have seen it trending on social media today. The virus is old, but the concerns are new, and so is the death. We don't want to spread panic, but we must know the facts. What is going on in China? Global Times, the mouthpiece of the Chinese Communist Party, was the first to report about this virus, the Hantavirus, as they...
Okay, now let me break this down. This virus just found a man dead on a bus, and that's why it came up. And 32 people are infected. It came out of Korea. That's why later on you see in this video, she calls it originated from Korea. This part of Hantai, Korea, wherever it is. She'll say it better than me because I'm not better with that. But I will tell you, it affected China. So China's saying, I don't know if this is a tactic of China trying to pivot away from the China virus to say, look what the Koreans gave us, and we gave you. You know, everybody's gonna try to pass some blame, but this is a concern. Let's hear some more.
Calling it, it said that one person from the Yunnan province of China died on a chartered bus today. This person was later tested positive for the Hantavirus. There are at least 32 people. There were 32 people on that bus, and they're all being tested for any possible infection. As I said, the virus is not new. One report says the coronavirus may have weakened the immune system of people. So those who survived the Wuhan virus are now more vulnerable to other strains.
Okay, so apparently these viruses, if you do catch them, your immune system is weakened. And that is what Jonathan is saying. Your black seed oils, I said your echinacea, I know electrolytes or something that I ordered, just some, electrolytes that are good. Vitamin C is good. You've got to really build that immune system. For me, I can't go right now, but I loved going to Korean spas because it allowed me those rooms where I could sit in hot saunas and then jump into 50-degree cold ice water. My body has been doing that for years. I've always jumped in hot and cold water to build my immune system up, to get it in a shock factor. Many of you guys have to start thinking better about your health, because we live in times when we have these cultures of people that fly back and forth from America to China, from America to Korea, to America to India, and they fly back and forth like going down the street to McDonald's to Jack in the Box. And then they don't have any type of regulation. They don't have any decontamination rooms when they get off those planes. And they have those bugs and whatever else that they came back with, and then they just go back home and they bring that back here. That's a problem. Let this video finish.
And that is why we are seeing cases like these. So what exactly is this virus and what causes it? The Center for Control of Disease and Prevention, the CDC, calls it the orthohantavirus. That is the full name. The virus is spread mainly by rodents like rats, squirrels, and hamsters. How exactly do they spread the virus? Through droppings and saliva.
Well, through droppings and saliva. This virus moves through droppings, saliva. Did we not just see videos of droppings downtown LA where black people stay?
And this is the next setup right here. And the thing is, we're not even getting this from American media. We're getting this from overseas media. See, go ahead, Shirley. Go ahead on, Shirley. Getting the receipts.
Okay. Did she not say droppings? Hello?
Yep.
Did she not say rats? This virus comes from rats? Who eats rats? Chinese people. Who eats rats? Chinese people. Where are the rats now that are flooded in the very saturated cities of urban Americas? Who's in urban America homeless on the street right now when we talking about we quarantine? Black people. And do you think anybody cleaning the rats right now? Wait a minute, what's open? Let's go back. Let's do a list. The stores, the gas stations, the banks. That's the only thing, and some restaurants. Are any of this other stuff? But no, if you're cleaning rats and you're a street cleaner, they might do a couple things, but you're supposed to be off the street, so the streets aren't gonna get cleaned the same way. Is the rat catcher out right now? Is somebody monitoring them cats that they done drugged with some kind of damn medicine? No, 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 no. That's the answer. No, 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 no. Let's keep going.
If a person comes in contact with the excreta or saliva of rodents, then he or she can be infected. In some cases, even a bite by an infected animal can cause it.
Even a bite by an infected animal and their saliva. Okay? Coronavirus stays live for 7 to 8 hours on the surface. This is why you have to spray with alcohol. That's why I told you, make sure you don't buy nothing under 60%. Try to get 99. Try to get 70 and above. 70 and above, and put it in a can and a spray bottle and spray your house, spray your shoes, decontaminate yourself every time you go outside because it's airborne. That's one thing with the China virus. With this virus, you're dealing with rats. If you know you got a rat issue or your neighbor got a rat issue, you see them rat turds and we see those things that look like little pellets. We think, oh, that's just little dirt. That's poo-poo. That's okay. No, no. That is the nastiest poop you could ever want to touch. Do not play with rat. Make sure you clean that with the proper handy equipment, because now we're learning how badly infected these animals are and how you can have respiratory issues of a virus contained within a rat that are now heavily infected in urban communities. But where's the legislative leaders? They know these rats are eating up Black people. They know they're eating up the homeless. And Gavin Newsom and Eric Stupid Garcetti, we just saw the video. He's acting like a deer in the headlights, like he don't know what the hell's going on. What the fuck is that about? Excuse me for cursing. Let's keep watching it.
What are the symptoms? Fatigue, fever, muscle ache, dizziness, and coughing. These are some of the usual ones. They may vary. Is this virus fatal? Yes, it is. In fact, it is much more dangerous than the coronavirus. The Hantavirus has a mortality rate of 38%.
The mortality rate of 38%. Is it more dangerous? She says yes, it is. Now, you may hear controversy. I read another article and they said it's not as fatal, but
bust out lie.
They're lying because Korea and China have been lying to us. And this one was around before the coronavirus. So now you got this cocktail situation: typhus, black plague, hepatitis A, hepatitis. All this because these motherfuckers don't wash their hands. All this because they didn't have us in porta potties downtown LA. They didn't put porta potties out saying you Negroes don't need a building. Just go squat and swat. I can't even talk straight. Sit on a squat and have your poop in a box. That's what they do to Black people in Los Angeles, and I ain't lying. So we're trying to wake up the rest of my people. We're trying to wake you up, the rest of the people in the United States who understand and have passion for Black people, because there are white people who care about us. And we know that there's also white people who are homeless. There's more Americans homeless than immigrants and migrants in this country, because they're the ones who have the leverage of money to provide housing for people, and they will provide housing for their own people before they provide it for an American first. That is anti-God. That is anti-Christ. Let's keep listening.
38. It's a very scary figure. What's even more worrying is the fact that this figure is entirely based on previously confirmed cases, and there weren't many cases in the past. So the short answer is yes, it's fatal. Now, the most important question right now is this: can the Hantavirus spread to humans? Even the World Health Organization does not have a proper answer to that. It says human-to-human transmission of the Hantavirus is under investigation, meaning they don't know for sure. It's best to be honest.
Meaning yes.
To also give the world assurance that if the Hantavirus explodes, they will not rely on what China is telling them. They will independently investigate.
What? Go ahead, guys.
Well, she said straight up. She said, if this happened, we will not rely on China. So she's doing a shot across the bow. We don't trust you. We don't believe you. Go ahead, India. I ain't mad at you.
Shit. It's the East Coast, West Coast beef all over again. The Eastern Society versus Western Society. All over again. We all looking at Asians like, huh?
Yeah, we got
but the one thing that's pissing me off about this whole thing, and this is not having been mentioned by any of us, is that we are the ones who are always affected by these. We are not the ones on the media talking about these things. We're not the ones finding these things out. Well, I mean, Shirley's finding out the receipts, but the thing is, we're not in those rooms to talk about policy. That's how you know we've been ruined. We can't. I mean, we got to get into this. We somehow got to figure out a way to get into these policy rooms and have power within those policy rooms. Because the thing is, everyone's talking. We ain't in there. We have been X'd out, and these Congressional Black Caucus members are.
I'm gonna say this to you. This is why I guess I'm a different with you on the. Oh no, we in there. They just got Diamond and Silk, and they got all these other famous people who allegedly famous wannabe people who sit with the president. All these black ministers, and they praying, laying hands on the president.
Oh gosh,
these are people who are not connected with the community. And no Tino Shea on Diamond and Silk, whoever their real names are, I don't know. I've met them
Rochelle and Shamaka. That's what we're gonna say. Let me tell you something. I'm putting shade on it.
I know who you're talking about.
Shade on it. See, Shirley. Let me tell you something, Shirley. You nice and you're respectful. See, I'm not really nice and respectful no more. I don't care about no civil war. We need to get the civil war popping off for real in this community because we cannot bring everybody with us. We need to separate these people. These people going up in there doing hands and playing hands on people. You know what I mean? That ain't okay. So if you're gonna pray and then talk about business, you're with the most powerful person in the history of the world. Because not only is President Trump the president of the United States, but he's a billionaire. On top of that, that means independent by himself, he can make moves without the government. Therefore, you're with the most powerful president in world history, and you're gonna be praying hands and not talk about real issues. Nah, you got to get up out the paint.
You have to understand they can't talk about real issues because they don't know them. These are not the right people that should be before the president. And the ones that they know who know things, they block them. They block the ones that have the real voice. They block the opportunity for the real ones. So, one thing I got to give Yvette Cornell says, when you get that opportunity, take the shot, take it. Take the shot and say what you need to say when you have it. Lose yourself like Alex Jones and well, he's really gone now. I mean, but just, you got to get to the
point. Alex.
Poor Alex, boy. They going. Even Google said nope. You can't take your app down. We're gonna help him. I mean, he didn't go on.
They took his app down.
Yeah, that was announced today. Google took his app down.
Oh,
allegedly, or something he said. But if anything, I learned from Alex Jones. You got to.
His name is his name Tyrell. He didn't call Alex. His name is Tyrell or DeMarco.
Yeah.
Shoot, they made him a black man. Shit. DeMarco Jones.
DeMarco Jones. I shout out to Pam for monitoring the room, and thank you guys for watching. Make sure you get the like buttons up and share this on groups. On those who are watching on Facebook, could you please be so kind, if you guys are watching, share this video on groups, because I know it's like, who wants to hear about rats and black people? But the black people in the community are the ones the most affected, because we're the ones still sleeping on the streets. And there are a lot of whites who are sleeping on the streets as well. And like DM said, this is the elephant in the room. This is because we're not doing BF one purse. We're not educating ourselves. And this is why I wanted to tie this in. This video seemed kind of long because I had to show you all the receipts prior to build up and go back to what she's saying. I showed you the saliva. I showed you the black homeless people. I showed you the city council people and Eric Garcetti, how nobody is fighting for us, but we've got to be in the seats to fight for each other. Let me continue on and finish this.
Need to remember what the WHO said about the Wuhan virus. The WHO said that there was no evidence of human-to-human transmission. And yet look where we are, 17,000 deaths and counting.
Okay, so we're going to go back to what the flagship just said. That they ain't trusting China. She said, let me tell you why we ain't trusting China. We ain't trusting China.
I love it.
Because
I'm here for it.
They told us that this coronavirus wasn't going to be so bad. And now look where we at. No, motherfuckers, we don't believe your ass no more. We don't believe you.
Yep. I'm here for it.
And while the WHO investigates, they must also look at the name, Hantavirus. Do you know why it's called the Hantavirus? Because it originated near the Hantan River in South Korea.
Let's stop right there.
I love the marketing of it. I love how she just said, I don't give a damn how it sounds. I'm going to call it what it is. And if you got a problem with it, come through. That's how we need to be. You got a problem with it. You got a problem with us telling you what you did to us. come through. I'm here for it. We got that fire and brimstone for you. Ain't no smoke. This is fire and brimstone.
Receipts. She laying all the receipts. Is she laying all the receipts?
All the receipts. And that's how we need to be.
You know, and this ain't got nothing to do with race. We ain't saying race. She ain't saying nothing about you Chinese people, you evil. Blah, blah, blah. She ain't said nothing that's good. Oh, you're racist. She ain't saying racist. She laying down facts. Now, how you dissect it, well, how you apply the dissecting of these actions of these Asian communities, well, that's another story.
It's named after a place, a river. It's curious that nobody. This is a story that we'll track. We just hope there's nothing to track here.
Now listen what she said. Hold on, I gotta get this.
That racist.
Hold on.
In South Korea. It's named after a place, a river. It's curious that nobody finds that racist. This is a story.
It's curious how no one finds that racist. No, she didn't say that.
Oh, I'm on her side. I'm with her. I'm with the fire and brimstone today. I got time. I got time for her.
Oh, nobody finds that. You want to find this and that racist, but y'all some nasty people. You got viruses. You got curses. A virus is a curse. And
here's the thing, Shirley. They don't care. When they say, remember how we always talk about crime? They say, what about Chicago? What about Chicago? What about black on black crime? They don't care about any of that stuff. And we got to take it. We've been taking L's for hundreds of years. I don't care. We are battle tested for this. I'm rested to get it popping. Let's go. I'm ready.
The field track. We just hope there's nothing to track here. The world is not ready for another wave.
We don't need to track here. Like, you know, this is not allegedly. No, we don't need no alleged because this is the facts. This is what's happening. You people are nasty. Ain't nobody calling you racist.
Just nasty.
That's what she is saying in this conversation. And I think people don't get this. Jonathan, talk to me. After you didn't watch it, I know you kind of went real quiet on me, Jonathan. What's your thoughts?
Well, yeah, what's going on, Jonathan? What's going on? Sounding kind of weak over there.
You can hear me, right?
I hear you. Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. I'm laughing because I feel like this is Asians now. They know how to feel. Now they know how it feel to be the niggas of the world because nobody ain't fucking with them. I don't encourage no violence on nobody, but I've seen videos of people just wailing on Asians on spot on GP.
Hold on, Jonathan. You gotta say the other side of the story. They set themselves up because they say some very nasty things to us. They also beat up our women in these hair salons.
Oh yeah.
So it's not like with us. Like they just came after us just because we was black and we had a business. Like we didn't do nothing. We didn't even live in their neighborhood. They just came and rolled through and just started burning stuff. But there's things that they're doing that these people are doing to us. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Because now Asians they feel the burn, and now you got all these celebrities trying to step in, try to say that black folks, you should know how it feels. We go through it all the time, so we need to step in. No, we don't. This is where black folks need to just eat their popcorn. Shut up. This white folks beef.
Yep.
Let's stay out of this. This is Asians beef.
Yep.
Let the Asians
hold your own nuts.
Hold your own nuts.
Because man, we hop in too many times, man. We defend everybody, dog.
Well, I think the political correctness for the last 25 years has bite us in the ass. We can't be raw and real with people. We got to be politically correct, or we've got to argue based on hypothetics. When President Trump came into play and said he's going to run for office and he started calling fake news out, then all of a sudden they had to come up with receipts. They couldn't argue on hypothetics or bring these agendas to the table and then layer them with false truths. Because when they were doing that, people would call them out on top of the new movement of social media. So people would receive them. They say, oh, let me look that up. Well, that's some bullshit. Well, look what he's saying. That's real. So the shift within the black community started commencing away from the Democrat Party because, first of all, the next generation wasn't as gullible. They're much less gullible than the generation I was raised under, who just told us to be quiet and sit there and just take it. Just take it. Be all right. You got a roof over your head. You should be happy. But now this generation said, wait a minute, you didn't gave the whole country away to these damn foreigners. You didn't sit back and get with the statistical stories of how they've suffered and in their country they didn't have anything. That's not my problem. Go back and fix your own damn country. That's why
go ahead.
We want to make
Go
America
ahead.
and keep it first. The country is waking up to the fact that we will no longer be asleep at the wheel and make you our priority. Go back home and fix China. If you want us to, and then don't come here having your revolution and waving your flags and telling us, oh, you need to go and help my country because in my country, no. Go back. Take your flag. Here, I give you some money to get on a plane one way and stay there and go cause a revolution. Put your life on the line like we're doing right now for Black people. We putting our life on the line. We putting our name out there. I ain't caping. I ain't under no different name. I put my name and my face and my children all out there, and everybody got an opinion. Because the more of us that are bold enough to say, yeah, I'm going to stand in front of the grenades. I'm going to stand in front, and for somebody else to be able to make it to the next level. But if you don't keep letting us eat up by rats, and now you got the diseases and the hepatitis A and typhus, see, God is not an ugly God. God is going to reckon all of this. You might be surprised. We might build the strongest immune system against all this bullshit. You think you taking us down, and guess what? You done made it. We've been homeless so long that we learned to live with the rats, and the rats now we got immune system. You're gonna need our blood to fix this bullshit. So it's crazy.
And we ain't gonna give it to them either.
No, don't give them damn thing. Don't give them nothing. Let them all eat each other up. Because this is what has happened. We in America have not prioritized Americans, and we have had enough. And Black Americans should have enough. The fact that the Indian woman even straight out said, I'm gonna call it for what it is. It came from Korea, and then she said, not racist. She said she was layering it. She layered, and y'all heard it in that video. Keep layering it, girl. But we too ghetto.
I'm here for it. Go ahead on.
We too ghetto. We too focusing on our weed man, and I can't get my weave done. I can't get my weed. I got stuck with all these kids. What am I supposed to do with them? Well, what the hell did you have them for?
Oh, wait, hold on, Shirley. Why we gotta talk about the weed person though? We ain't gotta talk about the weed person.
No, that's because that's white people up there smoking their weed already on YouTube videos talking about I'm stuck at home. You should be educating yourself to try to save and better your people and talk about what Flagship said, new jobs and opportunities. He's moving on a hairline. You could move into the tech community. You could be creating something that brings product and substance to the table. But we're not doing that, my people. We're not bringing substance to the table. What we're doing is competing with each other, and we can't do that. Well, we've come to the tail end. I want to thank Jonathan for coming on board. Jonathan, you are an amazing person. Thank you for coming into the chat room and giving your spiel. Flagship, I'm going to give you the last word on the table. What would you like to say to the family?
I would just like this kind of finish off with, we talked about a lot of things here, but we got to talk about solutions. We have to one of the solutions, we have to completely reject the leadership class in the Black. Solution number one, reject the entire leadership class of the Black community. Start focusing on new Black media. There's lots of people. Find some people that you like, listen to them, do research, do your own research and things like that. That's number one. Number two, we have to start making our own economic base as well as getting our military base done, meaning we need to start teaching our boys and our men mainly, but definitely men and women, gun safety, martial arts safety, because make no mistake, it's not going to get easier. It's going to get worse. Because the thing is, until this whole boycott thing gets into place, which is the next solution, there's going to be some Black sons having to defend their mamas and some Black daughters have to defend their mamas. That's a reality because the police are not prosecuting these people. The DOJ, not the DOJ, but the prosecutors are not prosecuting these people. They're getting off scot-free. So we're going to have to throw them things ourselves and then make some fried rice of these cats our damn selves. So that's another solution. The third solution is we have to boycott these businesses altogether, and we have to somehow figure out a way to get our economic base to get in front of these presidents, to the president to get economics into the Black community, plain and simple. So those are just some solutions off the top of my head right now.
I love it. Absolutely. And thank you so much for coming on the show because you always had such a valuable piece. And I love you. You're just an amazing man. And I really cherish your time and your energy that you bring to the table. And you bring the receipts and you bring the fire. And we've got to keep that fire alive because if we don't realize the fire is there, we're going to stay in the cold. That's because that's what they have. They keep us in the cold. Thank you, Flagship. For every action is the reaction, people. I want to thank you so much. Real money, you always make donations. If you want to make a donation, please do. I appreciate all the money. I want to thank Pam. Pam Jammin is my sister. I love you. I appreciate your good words of wisdom that you always provide and for moderating. And Carolyn, who comes in later on, and she moderates. Many of you guys are on fire. You bring fire and ideas. Dim always makes comments in there. Rainy, thank you so much. There's so many of you guys that come in. French too, that comes back in a while. I know Lucky Sport Norsley comes in, and I thank Richard for his ideas. There's so many of you guys who just come in and just share exactly how you feel on this matter. And this is not a one-man show. I don't have all the solutions. I'm just giving you my opinion. These are just ideas and opinions and alleged truths that are out there that we try to share with you. We try to make it clear because there's truth and there's untruths. Let's see what this new virus that's out there from Korea that was reported from this Indian lady, and I'll put some more links on it. Please look it up, this new virus that is affecting our community, and make sure that you do your homework and understand that if you do have issues, make sure that you go to the CBC website, the cdc.gov. Those are the websites you should learn the true facts and the rumors of the money that's supposed to be allocated out there. I talked about that earlier. And if you are in California, you can go to caloes.ca.gov to know what monies are allocated in California. And if you're not in California, make sure that you go to your own local state areas, because we talk about local, state, and federal, right? But if you do not understand that you as a constituent have to understand how your governor is governing you right now, because my governor has a different quarantine level than someone in Alabama or Arkansas or Mississippi or in Boston. So you have to know what your governor's saying. So just don't pay attention to the president. And God bless the president. Let's continue to pray for the leaders, that they stay healthy, that they use wisdom, and that they do come up with a virus and a serum and a solution to this issue. But they do hold a reckoning for these foreign countries that come in here. President Trump made it very clear in 2016 that we have too many immigrants and illegal immigrants, and we need new laws and regulations and border control. But because of the Democrats and because of Nancy Pelosi and the Gavin Newsom and the Eric Garcetti in California and what we see in other states, these liberals who continue to want to expand socialism like Bernie Sanders and all these others who want to continue to bring in now more authoritarianism rulings because of this to circumvent the federal government, which is ran by President Trump. There's your problem. There's your problem. And until we say this is a problem, these are the problem makers, we are not going to find the solution to deal with the problem makers. What we try to do on this platform is provide you receipts and speak of subject that may not be as popular and as liked as some of the others, but what it is giving you a head start. My videos will give you a head start to look at something from another perspective. You don't have to agree with everything that's said on every platform on my shows, but you can at least have an open mind to say, that is something I need to consider and I need to look into that. Do your own homework on everyone, all the people who are my guests, including myself. Do your own receipts and come back and challenge us and tell us your insight in the comments section like we see with a lot of you. I want you to enjoy the show. I want you to appreciate the show. Make sure that you get your thumbs ups and your likes, and please share the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you follow me on Facebook, follow me on YouTube. If you follow me on YouTube, follow me on Facebook. I have a Facebook fan page. I'm constantly posting. Tomorrow or the next day or so, I'm going to talk about money, and I'm going to talk about ways that you can breathe and mentally kind of calm yourself. I want to talk about having a calming mental spirit upon us, because you have to balance yourself. You cannot absorb us constantly talking about these viruses, but you cannot be asleep at the wheel. But while you are quarantined, let's improve ourselves mentally, spiritually, and physically. Don't let this energy of non-acceptance of not being able to go outside and go do what you normally routine do pull you back from what you are. You are an amazing person. You have greatness within you. Let it rise. Quiet your mind at night. Find calming videos to watch, to sleep to allow your spirit not to live in fear. Remember, scripture says God is not giving you a spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind. That's why I said this is anti-Christ. If you're a Christian or not, I am one. And I would ask, if you don't know Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, that you pray and you ask God to give you discernment and ask him into your heart and ask him to give you patience during these times, because you need to have a balance of your soul, your body, and your mind to circumvent the fear that you hear from the news and other people worrying, and the fact of people just irresponsibly unclean. So let's talk about that next time. I thank you. I love you. And I thank you for the donations. God bless Real Money, because he always comes through with real money, and he blesses our show. And God bless all the other ones who are out there who are supporting me on a regular basis and watching and sharing. Even if you don't have the resources, you have the shares and you have the likes that you give, and those are well appreciated. Let's remember to keep our heads up, stay alert, and be loving to one another. God bless you, and good night.